Hi, chat. Hello, welcome. It is day 7 of the APRocky trial for assault with a deadly weapon. Remember, he's accused of taking a gun and shooting at Relli. And, Rocky, remember, is claiming, I didn't have a real gun. So therefore, it really wasn't a felony. Now, Relli got done with his testimony, and we heard him basically implode on the stand yesterday. Their friend, Wally Sajimi, was up. He had recorded all the calls from Relli, and we're now stuck with, what do we do with the rest of it? Also, guys, God, my hair. Yeah, well, gotta get to Thursday. Gotta get to Thursday, chat, and get my hair cut. But we are there to now the police start getting interviewed. One of the officers who interviewed Relli gets interviewed or testifies today. The detective testifies. One of the detectives testifies today. We're now getting to the back end of the trial for the state. Remember, the witness that got called yesterday, Wally Sajimi, was for Rocky. He had to make his flight to Paris, so that's why they did it right away. He wanted to go be a Nibba in Paris. So, yes, we're back on X. And then, guys, remember tonight, we're going to hang out on members only for everybody. And, kind of get back into that stuff and kind of get back in the swing of things, hanging out normally on the week for YouTube here. So, anyways, let's get going. It's time. And let's do that. So here. All right, chat. Remember, we're going to go 1.25 speed. We're allowed to catch up a little bit, get us going here. All right. So here we go. Let's do this. All right.
I mean, the things I've seen, I don't know how they could get more false. I'd admonish you, don't look at anything on the internet or read anything about this case. And one of the reasons is because you can't rely on what you're reading. So
it's kind of nice the judge is talking. He's talking to the jury right now. He explained to them why they can't do that stuff.
Okay, your decision in this case.
Uh-oh. I know, chat, we're losing them. Uh-oh.
Right about that. If you don't mind just kind of facing me, raise your right hand. Thank you. You shall state that the testimony you may give in the cause nothing before this court. So the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be God. I do. You can take a seat in the witness stand. Just the microphone there and state and spell your name.
Kirk Anderson, KIRKANDERSON.
I forgot to mention this to you. The clock on the wall is getting worse. Yesterday it was like 4 minutes off. Now it's about 7 minutes off. So we're not going by that clock anymore. I got a wristwatch. We'll go by the wristwatch. And I have 10 minutes of work. About 5 work. What? About 5 work. It's misleading. So we're going to go by, and I'm sure all your watches synchronize our watches. 10 minutes to 11. All right, go ahead.
Thank you. Sir, would you start by telling the jury who you work for?
I work for Los Angeles Police Department.
And how long have you been a police officer for?
A little over 9 years.
Which station were you working at in November of 2021?
Hollywood Police Station.
And on November 8th, 2021 specifically, were you working that day?
Yes.
What was your assignment that day at Hollywood Police Station?
I was working the front desk.
What does that mean when you say working the front desk?
It's a patrol assignment to the desk where people come in and you take reports and help citizens out.
Would that literally mean you're sitting at kind of the front desk in the lobby of the police station?
Correct.
And the people that you're talking about, you take reports from, would those be citizens that walk in off the street to report crimes to you at the desk?
Yes.
So he's the guy in Terminator. Arnold walked up and goes, I'll be back. He's working the front desk of the police station.
On November 8th, 2021, did you interview a man by the name of Terell Ephron?
Yes, I did.
And how is it that you came to interview him that day?
He walked into the lobby of the police station.
When he came in, was he alone or was he with anyone else?
He said he was with a lawyer. There's a man in a suit that was with him.
It's not just that he told you he was a lawyer, you also saw this man wearing a suit.
Yes.
Okay. And if you can tell the jury broadly, what was it that Mr. Ephron was there to report?
He said he was a victim of a shooting, and that he was shot by a known celebrity by the name of APRocky.
In addition to tell you that the person who was shot him was APRocky, did he tell you that person's true or legal name?
Yes, he did.
And what was that name that he gave?
Rakim Mayers.
Did Mr. Ephron tell you how it was that he knew Mr. Mayers?
He said they known each other for about 15 years, and he was part of a group called ASAP Mob.
When you say he told you that, was that Mr. Ephron telling you that only Mr. Mayers was part of it, or that both of them were part of that group?
That both of them were part of it.
Before we get to the actual shooting that Mr. Ephron told you about, did Mr. Ephron tell you about anything that happened just prior to the shooting between him and Mr. Mayers?
Ephron said that he heard that APRocky was talking bad about him over the cell phone, and that was the day prior to the shooting.
Did Mr. Ephron tell you that he specifically heard the defendant talking bad about him, or that he heard about the defendant talking bad about him?
He heard about the defendant talking about him.
So did he tell you that he heard words coming out of the defendant's mouth?
Objection to leading, Your Honor. Foundational. Repeat. Objection to leading. Foundation.
I don't recall specifically.
Did you document it in your report?
I did.
Would it refresh your memory to look in your report?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Your Honor. Almost cat habit. I'm going to distract your attention. Does that refresh your memory to what Mr. Ephron told you?
Yes.
And did he tell you that he specifically heard Mr. Mayers talking bad about him, or that he heard about Mr. Mayers talking bad about him?
He said that he heard Mr. Mayers was talking bad about him.
Okay. Did he give you any more information about how it was that he overheard that information?
He did not.
What did Mr. Ephron tell you that he did after he heard Mr. Mayers talking bad about him?
He sent a text message to a friend that he said APRocky was being fake.
And did Mr. Ephron tell you that that friend was a mutual friend of theirs, or just his own personal friend?
I believe it was a mutual friend.
Okay. Did Mr. Ephron tell you where this encounter or incident first took place?
Yes, 6200 Hollywood Boulevard.
Are you at all familiar with 6200 Hollywood Boulevard?
I drove by there.
Well, guys, that why is it not all hearsay? Come on here. Well, it should be, but they're not. They're allowing it all in. So anyways, we're gonna keep going. But yes, it's like why is this in here? And I'm assuming this is part of he's one of the people who actually does the interview, so he's communicating back what's on video. So, but he could authenticate the video and just go from there.
Major intersection area.
Is 6200 Hollywood Boulevard, is that a very large building in Hollywood?
Yes.
It takes up almost an entire city block, right?
Correct.
Did Mr. Ephron narrow down for you where at that building their initial encounter took place?
It was at the driveway.
Any more detail about what the driveway either led into?
I believe it was a parking garage.
Okay. Did Mr. Ephron tell you when that meeting at the parking lot took place in reference to when the phone call was that he overheard where Mr. Mayers was talking bad about him?
Yes, the following day on November 6th at 10 p.m. is when they met in the driveway.
So, if I understand what you're saying correctly, Mr. Ephron said he overheard this phone call, then the very next day is when the driveway incident took place?
Yes.
All right. Did he give you any specific date, day, or time when that meeting at the parking lot took place?
Yes, 10 p.m.
Do you remember the date?
November 6th.
And do you remember what day of the week that was?
I did.
Would you have documented it in your report?
I don't believe the specific date is.
Okay. But November 6th of 2021?
Yes.
What did Mr. Ephron tell you when he occurred, when he first got to that parking garage?
So when he got there, he saw APRocky, and he saw two mutual friends of his and APRocky. One he said his name was Ills, and the one I believe goes by the name of 12E.
Did he tell you that those two men, Ills and 12E, were with Mr. Mayers?
Yes.
Okay, and then what was the next thing that he told you happened?
He said from about 5 to 10 feet away, APRocky pulled out a black handgun from his waistband and told him, "What's up, down pussy?"
Okay. What did he tell you happened immediately after that?
He then pointed the handgun at Ephron and said, "I will kill you right now," approximately 2 to 3 times.
And then what did he tell you happened after that?
Ills and 12E tried to intervene and de-escalate the situation, and they all walked over together to the area of Selma and Vista Del Mar.
Did he tell you who, if anyone, was the first person to walk away?
They were in front of him when they were walking to that location.
When you say they, who are you talking about?
APRocky, Ills, and 12E.
All right. And what did Mr. Ephron tell you he did after that first altercation at the parking garage?
Once they got to the area of Selma and Vista Del Mar, he said APRocky turned around and fired approximately 3 to 4 shots at Ephron.
Okay. Before we get there, I want to go back to the parking garage really quickly. Did Mr. Ephron tell you at any point that the defendant specifically pointed the handgun at him?
Yes.
He told you, or yes, that he did? What did he tell you with regard to that?
After he said, "What's up, pussy?" he pointed the handgun and he stated, "I will kill you right now," at Ephron.
Okay. That was when you, okay, thank you. Where again did he tell you that the rounds were fired?
At the area of Selma and Vista Del Mar,
And how many shots did he tell you he believed were fired?
approximately 3 to 4.
Did he tell you whether he was struck by any of the gunfire?
Yes, he said he was struck in his left hand knuckles area.
When he walked into the police station, you had a chance to observe him, obviously, correct?
Yes,
Could you see any injury to his left hand knuckle area?
I did see an injury to his hand knuckles.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I previously marked as equal 17. You recognize it, see there?
Yes,
And does that appear consistent with the injuries that you saw to Mr. Ephron?
It does.
November 8th? And you said that was to which of his hands?
his left hand.
Okay. After the gunshots were fired, what did Mr. Ephron tell you happened next?
He said he ran off one direction and APRocky and others ran off another direction.
Where did Mr. Ephron tell you that he went?
Eventually he made his way back to his hotel, the Lowe's Hotel in Hollywood.
Okay. What if anything, did he tell you he did after he got to his hotel?
After he got to the hotel, he said approximately an hour later he came back to the scene of Selma and Vista Del Mar, and he said he collected 2 casings off the ground.
Did he tell you at all about documenting where he observed those 2 cartridge casings?
Yeah, he provided a photo of the casings on the street.
Did he actually show you a photo?
Yes.
Okay. You said Mr. Ephron told you this happened on November 6th, but he was reporting it to you on November 8th, correct?
Yes.
Did you ask him specifically why he waited to the 2 days to report this to you?
He said he wanted to have a lawyer with him.
Great. Did you ask what state he was living in at the time you were talking to him?
I don't recall.
Direct you to the top cover page of your report if that assists you in refreshing your recollection.
Yes.
What state did he say he was living?
New York?
And did you ask him specifically why he was in Los Angeles at the time?
I don't recall.
Okay. You said that Mr. Ephron, at the time he walked into the police station on November 8th, he had 2 fired cartridge cases, correct?
Yes, he did.
Can you describe that in more detail for the jury?
There's 2 steel casings. It's a 9mm Luger on each of them.
How did he have it?
It was in a black plastic bag.
Okay. And did he physically give them to you?
He gave me the plastic bag, and I took them out of the plastic bag.
What did you do with them after you received them?
It was booked as evidence, so I put them inside of an evidence envelope, and then I sealed it and wrapped it.
Well, there we go, chat. He's the chain of evidence, the chain of custody for the shell casings. I thought it might be the detective, but he logged it in initially. That's why he's primarily here. So we're not really worried about that. We're not really worried about all the testimony of Relli, because Relli's already testified. He is the chain of custody. Here we go. Here we go, chat. So let's see here. Hold on, what is this? Hold on here, chat. Why did I get something in here?
Information on the envelope.
When you say you booked it as evidence, what is that? Can you just describe for the jury what exactly that means?
So it gets sealed up. I write my name on the envelope. I write the contents inside of the envelope. Then it gets assigned a DR number, which is specific to this case. And then it goes inside of for Hollywood Police Station, it goes inside of a closet where we store all the evidence.
You seal it before you store it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to mark
Man, lift
my
it and stick it.
next exhibit, Your Honor, 32. If it can just be labeled as envelope and its contents.
Yes.
And I'm going to write 32 on the front, in the bottom right-hand corner on this envelope. I'm going to show you first the envelope and ask if you recognize what we see here.
Yes.
And what is this?
This is the envelope for where I seal the casings. That's the information I wrote on it.
Okay, and this would actually be the envelope you filled out that night, correct?
Correct.
It has your name on it, correct?
Yes.
And your badge or serial number?
Yes.
Okay. You said the date is on there, correct?
Correct.
And a description of the contents, correct?
Yes.
You also mentioned this number at the top right that's labeled DR number.
Yes.
Is that number that we see there 2106-18784?
It is.
Is that number unique within LAPD to this case specifically?
Yes, specifically just this case.
Also, chat, comparing once again to the Canton, Massachusetts Police Department, you know, also it says Nibber up here. Anyway, Nibber. Anyways, but look at this, guys. This is what real police work looks like. So I don't know if you guys have ever, like, this is one of the largest police departments in the world. This is how they do stuff. So it's kind of neat to see that, because we're used to just seeing like a little Ziploc bag with some squiggles on it. This is look at all the levels of documentation for this that they have. It's pretty cool.
So there will be no other case in LAPD that also utilizes that?
Correct.
All right. Now, in addition to that number, the DR number that's unique to this case, you also assign a separate number to the items that you are receiving. Like an item.
I don't understand.
Sure. When you book something into evidence, let's take it more generally. In any case, would you agree with me that you or other people working on the case may, over the course of the case, book multiple items under one case number or DR number, correct?
Correct.
So let's say on the first day you collect one item and you book it, and on the second day you collect another item and you book that second item. Would the first item that you collect be booked as item number 1 under that DR number?
Yes, it would.
And then on the next day when you collect another item, would that be booked as item number 2 under this same DR number?
Yes.
Okay. When you did that in this case, what number did you assign to the casings that Mr. Ephron provided to you?
Item number 1.
So both casings would be item number 1, correct?
Yes.
Now, once you go through that whole process that you talked about, receiving the item, packaging it, putting it in the envelope, sealing it.
Yeah, Kidsaki, that's already what I said. This is just chain of custody establishing. Here's how it entered our hands. This guy can't tell you anything about him. He could just say I was given bullet casings. So all he could say is what he was told. The police can't authenticate. We've already mentioned this. They claim they could say that the tool marks on it indicated came from a Glock pistol, but that's about as far as they can go. So we're going to get to that guy probably maybe today, but I don't know. I think just the detectives today. But yeah, as I said, this is just chain of custody to establish how these things showed up and how they have them.
Where does it go?
It goes in our evidence closet, and then the next day the evidence employee takes it and puts it in the evidence room.
Does it go to something with an LED called the property division?
Yes.
And is
It's
it held
gone.
there until
We don't
it's
have
needed
it.
anytime in the future?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to open the envelope if you would. Do you have a knife or any way of opening it? It's underneath.
Wait, let us pull it open.
Use a knife. I want to clean it. You do from top to. I'm going to take out, would you agree with me that inside of the larger envelope, there's a smaller envelope?
Yes.
Okay. And it has a number 1 on it, correct?
Correct.
And it has the same unique DR number on it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can I borrow the knife? Okay. Officer Anderson, I'll put them on the elbow here. One. Zoom in.
This is something I'd like to ask Emily Baker. Emily, if you Phil Foss, if you're out there, please. I'm hoping you'll clip this. Emily, I know you're not the representative for the Los Angeles County Prosecutor's Office right now, or the the LA County District Attorney, but what in the unholy God's green fuck is he doing right now? Why is he not wearing gloves? Why is he not wearing gloves? Once again, Emily, I know you're not in charge there, but what the fuck is he doing to those exhibits? I know there's no DNA issues, but why is he handling evidence with bare hands like that? Just question for a friend. Question for a friend. If you happen to hear this, Emily, please let me know. Oh God, why are you touching this? Oh, goddamn. I mean, I was a prosecutor out in Hillbillyville, Ohio, and I would, oh God, I would never do this. I mean, as a defense attorney, I'll fucking contaminate evidence if I can. I mean, fuck it, I don't give a shit. But as a prosecutor, brother.
Now, do these appear similar to the cartridge cases that you received that night?
Yes, they do.
Do you specifically remember exactly the cartridge cases that were given to you?
Yes,
You do. And are these those same exact cartridge cases?
they are.
Okay. Are you familiar with what's called a head stamp on a cartridge case?
I'm not.
You're not. Are you familiar with kind of the words that are written on the back of the cartridge chaser?
Yes.
And in this case, what caliber of ammunition would these cartridge cases be?
9mm.
9mm Luger?
Yes.
So these are the same cartridge casings that Mr. Ephron brought to you that you packaged up and booked into property division, correct?
Correct.
I got nothing else, Ron. I'm gonna, just for the record, I'm gonna put them back in the smaller envelope, and then I'm gonna put the smaller envelope back into the larger.
Alright. Who wants to, question officer next? Thank you. Alright. See what, go ahead.
Real quick, chat. We're gonna go back. I wanted to see what was the head stamp here. I had to look away for a second. Oh, F and C with dots on both ends. And if you guys didn't know this, you can actually Google all of this. That's a CCI spear. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's spear 9mm, which there's tons of that shit laying around, so that's not uncommon. So yeah, FC 9mm Luger, that's CCI spear 9mm. And I don't know, like, look at how chewed up. Like these are chewed the fuck up casings. Look how beat the shit these are.
So these are the same cartridge casings that Mr. Ephron brought to you that you packaged up and booked into property division.
Yes, I mean, like, there's spear gold dot and stuff like that, but yeah, typically this probably came from somebody shooting ball, like just regular full metal jacket ammunition, which is known as like ball ammunition, which generally means it came from a range. But also remember, a lot of normies who own guns, and I'm sure Rocky is kind of in this category. I'm sure he owned a lot of retarded guns when we see them. Would own just 9mm ball ammunition in a personal defense weapon instead of like hollow points or anything like that.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. I got nothing else, Ron. I'm gonna, just for the record, I'm gonna put them back in the smaller envelope, and then I'm gonna put the smaller envelope back into the larger.
Alright. Who wants to, question officer next? Thank you. Alright. See what, go ahead.
Hello, officer.
Come on.
We've never spoken before, right?
Correct.
Now, as a law enforcement officer, when you're interviewing someone making a complaint, you want to make sure your report is as complete and accurate as possible, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's because you understand that the report may be relied upon in the future at hearings or a trial like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on November 8th, 2021, you said you were working at the front desk at the Hollywood police station.
Yes.
And at 7:20 that day, Terell Ephron came into the station and made a complaint to you about alleged shooting, right?
Yes.
And obviously that's a serious complaint, right?
Correct.
So it's important for you to be as careful in taking down this information as possible, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you memorialize that information in a written report, correct?
Yes.
In fact, that report was reviewed and approved by your supervisor, Officer Deneen, correct?
Correct.
Now, as detailed in your report, Mr. Ephron told you about an incident, if you just described it, that occurred on November 6th, 2021, involving Mr. Mayers and two other people he identified as
Hi,
police
Katie.
officials.
Thank you for joining us.
Okay. And specifically,
Welcome.
can you testify to this? Mr. Ephron told you that as he was approached by Mr. Mayers pulled out a gun from 5 to 10 feet away. Is that what he told you?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, the first page of your investigative report has a pre-printed box, which is called weapon, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's for you to identify any weapon that a complainant reports to you, correct?
Correct.
Right. And you made a note in that report of a gun, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if a knife were involved in an incident, that's an important fact you would know, right?
Yes.
And you didn't make any note of the knife in this case, either in that pre-printed box or in the narrative portion of your report, correct?
Correct.
And that's obviously because Mr. Ephron, when reporting to you what happened, didn't tell you that 12 displayed a knife to him during the incident, right?
He did not.
Correct. In fact, Mr. Ephron made no mention of a knife being involved in this incident, correct?
Correct.
To the contrary, rather than displaying a knife, Mr. Ephron told you that 12 actually tended to de-escalate the situation. Is that right?
Yes.
And he told you that ASAP Hills also tried to de-escalate the situation, correct?
Yes.
Now, during your interview with Mr. Ephron, He also told you that he returned to the scene of the incident approximately an hour later. Is
Yes.
that right? And he gave you those 2 shell casings that he claimed to recover from the scene, the ones you just saw, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
He sustained is the word claim.
Okay. He gave you the 2 shell casings that he told you he recovered from the scene, right?
Yes.
Just so it's clear, Mr. Ephron told you he recovered those shell casings about an hour after the incident on November 6th, 2021, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't give them to you until 2 days later, November 8th, 2021, right?
Yes.
Now, after you received the shell casings from Mr. Ephron, you requested that they be examined for latent prints.
I did.
And obviously, as an experienced law enforcement officer, you wouldn't have requested an examination that you knew would be useless. Am I correct?
Correct.
Right. So you requested that examination for latent prints because you understood that fingerprints can be lifted off shell casings, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, when speaking with Mr. Ephron on November 8th, 2021, he told you that he had a small scrape on his left hand from the incident, right?
Yes.
That you saw a picture of on the screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. And after him telling you about that small scrape and you seeing it, you clearly didn't see a need to get him an ambulance or some type of medical treatment, right?
Right.
In fact, at that time, on November 8th, 2021, you discussed with Mr. Ephron if any medical treatment, what if any medical treatment he already received for that small scrape. You asked him about that, right?
Yes.
And what he told you was, I just treated myself on the day it occurred, right?
Correct.
Now, you were asked by Mr. President about the reported statements that Mr. Ephron made to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And to be clear, when Mr. Ephron made all of his statements to you, he had a civil lawyer standing next to him, right?
Yes.
Now, you said you asked Mr. Ephron why he waited 2 days to report the incident, and he told you because he wanted to have a lawyer present with him, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did Mr. Ephron tell you that another reason he waited to report the incident is because he was attempting to contact Mr. Mayer's quote-unquote people, including his manager, Mr. Mayer's manager, trying to get money before he even contacted a lawyer? Did he tell you that?
No.
In fact, Mr. Ephron never told you that before coming to see you, meaning before he made his report to the police, that he had already texted a screenshot of his scraped fingers to Mr. Mayer's manager with messages saying that he, Mr. Ephron, was getting rich. He never told you that, right?
No.
I'm asking you, was told. And the answer was he never conveyed that to you, right?
Correct.
Right. In fact, Mr. Ephron also did not tell you that before coming to the police, he had already sent a text message to his own business associate saying, quote, I want to get this N-word's money, referring to Mr. Mayers. He never told you that either, right?
Right.
And Mr. Ephron also did not tell you that before making his report to the police, before he came to you, Mr. Mayers texted him that Mr. Ephron was trying to extort him, that Mr. Ephron should stop calling Mr. Mayer's manager, and that Mr. Ephron should call the police. He never told you any of that, did he?
He did not.
Uh-oh.
How long did you estimate your interview with Mr. Ephron was?
Approximately maybe 20 minutes.
And included in that 20 minutes, you've got some of that time of you actually writing down or documenting things on your report.
Yes.
Is your report a verbatim transcript of what Mr. Ephron told you or a summary?
A summary.
The gun that Mr. Ephron reported was pointed at him. Did he tell you what kind of gun it was? I mean, was it a revolver or semi-automatic?
He just said black handgun.
Okay. Did you document something in your report that was a specific type of gun?
I have to review the report.
What did he tell you?
It was a semi-automatic.
Okay. You were asked about latent fingerprints. How many times are you aware of latent fingerprints being lifted off of cartridge cases?
I wouldn't know the answer.
I mean, have you ever received a latent print report documenting fingerprints on fire cartridge cases yourself personally?
No.
Okay. I haven't done that.
All right, thank you, Officer Anderson.
Thank you.
Next witness.
My next witness is Detective Flores.
Also, chat, notice that Sergeant, when he came in, was all suave and debonair and, like, really perfect in his uniform. And this guy's uniform is kind of like, meh, you know, a little different. You know, he comes walking
My next
in.
witness is Detective Flores.
Now we're moving on to the detective who did the actual investigation. Here we go.
State that the testimony you may give in the cause not been before this court. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Please take a seat and stand there.
Can you send me some info on that?
Yeah, please state. This guy you think is over.
Yes. First name is Frank, Frank. Last name is Flores, Flores.
Yep.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, would you tell the jury what your occupation and assignment are?
Yes, I'm a detective of Los Angeles Police Department. I'm assigned to a robbery homicide division.
Were you also in that?
Now, chat, remember, robbery homicide division. These guys are like, this is the cream of the crop. If you guys have remember watching Heat, Detective Hannah. Robbery homicide is like the A team for the LA Police Department. They're commonly known as RHD. You know, they're big. They're big time. You know, they do all the big cases. They do all the critical things. So, you know, if you remember, like, if you guys have ever watched Bosch was involved in robbery homicide before he got in trouble. He was one of their, one of their best detectives, and then he got into a shooting. He got into a questionable shooting, and they made him just a regular homicide detective after that. But yeah, robbery homicide's like the bee's knees. That's like what everybody wants to be. Yes, very serious investigations. Very serious investigations. Just got here. Has the judge gotten mad yet? No. But remember, part of the issue was the prosecutors failed to control. Like, the reason why the judge was getting mad and yelling at everybody is because of the prosecutor's inability to control their witness. These are proper witnesses. These are trained witnesses. These are witnesses that are housebroken. That's not going to be an issue going forward. So, what the fuck is that haircut? That's a detective haircut there, brother. It's a robbery homicide haircut. So these guys are like, they're considered like very sophisticated. They dress nice. They got the nice clothes. Like, there's a bit of a standard for these guys. So like, if you notice it, you're gonna say, "Wow, he's wearing a good suit and all that." That's how these guys roll. The robbery homicide is not just the regular schmoes. He's got a soul patch on his forehead. Stop it. Bosch was a very good show. Yes, he was. So there you go. But anyways, just so you guys know, when they're talking about RHD. So now he packs up a little. Oh, stop it. But now you want to know who it is. That's what they are. That's what they are. The Boschland. Yes, Bosch lens cleaner. Yeah, that's what the Bosch television series is about. It's a guy who lives in LA who cleans glasses. Oh my God, chat. All right, we're gonna get going here. Just so you understand who RHD is.
On in November 2021.
Yes, I was.
How long have you been a police officer for?
Just over 29 years now.
Were you one of the assigned detectives on this case?
Yes, I was.
Who were your partners on this case?
I was assigned along with Detective Carlos Camacho and Detective Donetta Benedict.
And were you and your partners assigned this case on November 9th of 2021?
Yes.
After you were assigned to this case, did you go to the location where the crime occurred, and specifically to Vista Del Mar and Selma Avenue in the city and county of Los Angeles?
Yes.
What was your primary focus in returning to that location?
My primary focus was to canvass the area for cameras, witnesses, any evidence related to the incident that was recorded.
Then when you say cameras, would that be like surveillance video footage?
Yes, I mean anything private, public, anything that would capture evidence from that night.
Okay, I'm going to show you what I marked as one. Do you recognize the area that's depicted here?
Yes.
Okay. I can turn on the little screen for you too, if that makes it easier. It's not here at the back of us.
Okay.
When you went back to that location, were you able to observe surveillance camera footage from any locations in that area?
Yes,
Would you point out any of those locations on the map for the jury?
yes. So there was a large area that was canvassed. Argyle here would be on the west side, south side, Selma, Vista Del Mar, which is the north-south street, which kind of dodge light comes east-west and exits out to El Centro. Was also canvassed, along with, I believe, Hollywood Boulevard as well. So roughly the entire kind of a block with the side street of Vista Del Mar in between.
Okay, we've heard about this location, 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. Can you point out for the jury where that location is on this map or graphic?
Yes, 6200 is pretty much the entire, encompasses the whole block. It's a very large property, which encompasses from Hollywood down to Selma, down Vista Del Mar and Central on the east.
Okay. Would there be, you said all the way down to Selma, but would these buildings right at the northeast corner of Argyle and Selma, those would be separate from 6200?
Correct. Kind of cuts off right around the bend here, Vista Del Mar down.
Got it, okay. And we also heard reference in Mr. Ephron's testimony to the W Hotel. Can you point out to the jury where the W Hotel would be?
Yes, the W would be here on the west side of Argyle. There's a large kind of lobby entrance, parking entrance here. I believe this is it here. Roughly mid-block between Hollywood and Selma on the west side of the street.
So right where it says Argyle Avenue, you were pointing just to the left of that, those kind of two white lines. Would that be the driveway that would drive into sort of the valet area of the W Hotel?
Correct, that's my rough estimate, yes.
Okay. The locations where you observed surveillance video from, can you point out those locations?
Yes. So the first point was the parking structure off Argyle, which is roughly just here on Argyle on the east side of the street, just north of Selma. The parking area where the first incident took place. As we continue the path south and then east, as we began northbound on Vista Del Mar, there were cameras here at, I believe it's a 1616 Vista Del Mar, which is a kind of privately owned building. And then beyond that, there were cameras attached to 6200 Hollywood Boulevard. In the windows, roughly kind of on the bend here, on the exterior of the base floor of 6200, kind of the rear end. As the street opened back up to North El Centro, there was an additional camera here at the, which roughly described as a kind of a loading dock to the building, which is on El Centro, just north of Vista Del Mar.
Okay, Your Honor, if I may mark my next exhibit, equals 33. It's a single-page document with a photograph of that area of Vista Del Mar and Selma with annotations and markings on it. All right, Detective, I'm showing you what I marked as equals 33. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
And you see a number of red boxes, the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Correct.
Are those each locations where camera footage was retrieved from?
Yes.
Let's start with 1. Would that be the parking structure that you talked about?
Yes.
All right, so just to the left of the 1, you see the green triangle with the green arrow in it.
Yes, I do.
Can you describe for the jury what would be represented roughly by that green triangle and arrow?
That would be roughly the angle of the camera, which was under the parking structure, kind of awning at the entrance. And the camera faces northbound towards Hollywood Boulevard, which would be First Main Street up.
Now, guys, remember, this is a little, remember, they don't have to present their witnesses in a specific order. But remember, normally we would have a detective kind of come in and explain the whole story if we haven't heard it yet. But now we're having the detective come in and do cleanup. And that's probably a good thing because remember, you've got to, Relli was a disaster. So now you're kind of laundering the case through credible people. Like you had that nice policeman come in, then you had the very nice detective come in. You're going to have the very nice forensic guy come in. And then you're going to end the case. A lot of times, remember, you might end on your victim or you might be more this is more of they have to launder the case to a shitty, they're good witnesses to cover up the bad one. So, yeah, this guy, remember, he's not telling us anything we don't know already. So, this part here is really boring. I mean, we already know this part, but we got to get through it.
Okay. And you observed video from that location, correct?
Correct.
Hi, SD.
I'm going to show you equals 14.
Uh-oh, what happened, chat? We're like, there we go. They just suck today for quality.
So northbound view of the camera, looking south.
Okay. And when you were pointing out where the camera was, you're kind of pointing underneath the
Don't be
kind of
slipping in
the
each
roof
other's
area
DMs,
underneath where that
chat.
parking lot driveways, correct?
That's correct.
And I think you were specifically closer to where I think it says restricted entry.
Yes, roughly there.
Okay. After you observed the video at that location, were you able to obtain a copy of it?
Yes, after canvassing the area, we were able to get copies of different videos from different areas, different times. But yes, we did end up getting a copy of video from this specific camera.
In order to get that specific video, was there anything that you had to do?
Yes,
What was that?
there was a search warrant authored to get copies of video from specifically this camera and the adjoining camera on the El Centro side of the loading dock.
Okay. So what you're talking about is the number 1 and the number 4 on People's 33?
Correct.
Okay. I want to stay with the parking lot first, though. I'm going to pull up the.
Behave yourselves. No horny allowed, chat. No horny allowed. And are we checking on? Yeah, we are. Okay, we are making time.
Now, on People's Exhibit 15 here, there's 2 files in a folder labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard, WNBM. And I'm specifically pulling up the one that says commercial parking entrance. Now, it's really hard to read from here. We're having a pause right now at 9 minutes and 42 seconds of this video. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
The entire amount of video that you collected from there, was it 1 hour, 18 minutes, and 6 seconds long?
Yes.
And was there a specific time that you started that specific time from when the video started that you collected?
I believe we're looking at roughly the time of the incident.
Would it have been around 10 o'clock?
Roughly 10 o'clock.
Okay. And the video that we're seeing here, would this be the raw video footage that you received from that location?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to just play it forward a few seconds. Back it up just a little bit. Too far.
And remember, chat, now why are we going through these again? Because we've already seen the videos, but now we're showing how these videos entered evidence, how they were retrieved. Remember, this is just establishing chain of custody for a lot of things here.
Okay. So can you read the time that it's paused there at?
Yes, it shows 10:15, 10 minutes, 15 seconds.
Okay. Good mark. My next exhibit, Your Honor, 34.
Yes.
It's a one-page document that has 3 still images from this parking lot video. They're individually labeled A, B, and C on the page. I don't know why it's coming out in green, but. No, it's a kind of an odd color up there, detective, but do you recognize where those 3 cylinders are captured from?
Yes,
And what would that be?
that's from the camera that was recovered at the parking structure.
Now, would you tell the jurors just a little bit about your background, training, and experience when it comes to firearms?
Well, I would consider myself an expert. I carried firearms as long as I've been a police officer prior to. I've attended training days, qualified, marksmanship, safety skills with firearms. So I have a good basic understanding through my job and through some extracurricular training days.
Now, in the course of your 29 years of experience, have you had an opportunity to use both semi-automatic pistols and revolvers?
Yes, I carry both.
Are you generally familiar with the difference between those 2 types of firearms?
Yes,
And could you describe that to the jury?
yes. A revolver is kind of an older technology for firearm, original firearm. It's a wheel gun. It's a wheel where the gun is manually loaded with the ammunition, and after you fire, you have to manually unload it. I mean, there's a lot more handling of the weapon. When you shoot it, it doesn't project casings like a semi-automatic handgun. So it's also generally a lower capacity weapon, meaning most revolvers are limited to 5 or 6 rounds capacity. A semi-automatic is more of a modern era weapon. It's a magazine and cartridge fed weapon, which can hold a large capacity of rounds. Many of these small semi-automatic can hold 5, 6 rounds up to 17, 18 rounds, depending on the size of the semi-automatic handgun. When you fire that gun, the difference is casings eject. Anytime you fire it, the casing will eject from the handgun to clear the way for the next round. Versus a revolver, when it fires, the wheel just spins to the next available chamber. So
A big difference in what you can see in the 2 guns is that wheel that you're describing on the revolver. Right?
yes, the revolver's fairly distinct.
And when you watch this video or even observing the still images on the screen up there, based upon your background, training, and experience in law enforcement and handling both semi-automatics and revolvers.
That wheel part of the revolver is known as the cylinder, chat.
What is your opinion with regard to what type of gun that is, specifically between a revolver or a semi-automatic pistol?
No doubt, semi-automatic.
Okay. Move on to the next location. So equals 33, and focus in on location number 2. I believe you already said in your testimony that that location was 1616 Vista Del Mar Avenue, correct?
Correct.
And you said it was a private building, privately owned building, correct?
That was my understanding, yes.
Okay. When you observed video from that location, were there a number of cameras attached to the location?
Yes.
Now, I have people 33 up here, which I think will make it easier for you to explain, but if you would, could you explain generally how those cameras were, what direction those cameras were facing that were attached to that one building?
Yes. Well, basically, if you look at the green cones, they represent a camera that was facing in that specific direction. So the property kind of sits on the corner of the bend that goes from Vista Del Mar northbound to Vista Del Mar eastbound. So cameras face roughly are placed around the building, facing different angles outwards towards the street.
Okay, so the bottommost one on the building label number 2, that one, that would have been facing towards the intersection of Vista Del Mar and Selma, correct?
Correct.
And that's the grainy surveillance video that we've watched a number of times, correct?
Correct.
The very next one to the left of that, it looks like it's facing towards, yeah, that one, the 6200 Hollywood building. What area would that have captured?
Roughly as the street begins to turn, that's roughly the front of the building. We'll roughly cover kind of the pedestrian entrance to the building.
Okay, and then going up to the northmost part of the building, there's 2 additional cameras there, correct?
Correct.
Do those cameras kind of overlap in their coverage?
Yes, roughly they do.
All right. Go back to table 15, the hard drive. There's a separate folder with 161.
Oh, here we go, chat. More and more boring. I will say it's amazing the quality of the camera. I will say that much. Very good.
Detective, you see there's 2 files in that folder, correct?
Correct.
They both start with the word magic.
Yes.
Okay. The first one ends in the number 3000. I'm going to open up that file. And I'm going to make this bigger. Now, do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
Can you describe this at all for the jurors?
Yes. Roughly, this is camera number 1 on the would be the south side of the building at 1616.
Hold on one second. So for you, number of the cameras, they're actually labeled in the top left-hand corner, correct?
Correct.
So that the top leftmost corner would be camera 1, and there's no image display, correct?
Correct.
And then camera number 2 is the next one over in the top middle, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to skip forward. Is this how the video came to you when you first viewed it?
Yes.
I'm going to jump over here.
Chat, we're on Hollywood Squares. Oh, no.
It's going to be hard for me to see up there, so I'm going to pull it over and then I'll bring it back to you. Right now I have it paused at 22:16:55. Okay, so we have it paused here. There's 4 cameras that are displayed, correct?
Correct.
And with each one of these represent cameras that we just talked about in that exhibit, People 33.
Yes.
And if you double click on the cameras, it makes them individual screens, correct?
Yes.
All right, this would be that one that faces towards Vista Del Mar and Selma?
Correct.
Camera 3 would be that next camera to the left, which covers, you said, the front entrance of the building, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to jump over to camera, is that 5? I believe it's 5.
Correct.
All right, that area that we see in the top left of this camera, is that curve on Vista Del Mar that you were talking about?
Yes, that camera will be facing roughly west and south.
Towards the curve.
Correct.
And then the last one, camera 4. Which direction would that camera be facing?
That will be facing eastbound towards the central.
Got it. Okay. And if you play these videos on this player, would you agree that the 4 cameras that are displayed there play simultaneously?
Yes.
So they're each playing what they captured at that moment, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to start with camera 2. And we'll play it. I'm gonna pause it. You could read the time at the bottom, I'm gonna switch screens, but the timestamp at the bottom left here.
It's 22/17/25.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna jump over to camera 3. And I'll play it at this portion. And then pause it. The time.
22/17/29.
And so that would show the same person that we saw running away in camera 2 as they're crossing around the building?
Yes, it's in sequence.
Okay. We'll jump over to number 5 that faces the curve. I might have passed already. I'll keep playing it from here. Is it moving?
It's not playing.
It's not. Okay. Now, would that be the same person that we saw from the last 2 cameras as well?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll jump to camera number 4. Is that individual now towards the top of the screen here?
Yes.
And pausing it, can you give us a time?
22/17/40.
Would that be when the man in the black sweatshirt beats up the person who's wearing the red jacket?
Yes.
To go back in time a little bit, you would agree that the sequence looks like we're following the man in the black sweatshirt, correct?
Correct.
All right, go back and ask to follow the other individuals. Before I hit play, would you give us the timestamp?
No, Aaron, but we do need to watch that one. I've been told it's very good.
So we've gone back in time now, would you agree?
Yes.
And I will hit play from here. So after the man in the black sweatshirt runs away, what does the man in the red jacket do?
He pauses initially, then he follows the man in the sweatshirt.
And the other 2 individuals, you see one of them walking in the same direction that those man in the black and man in the red jacket went?
Yes.
Okay. Is he walking towards what would be El Centro?
Yes, he's walking northbound Vista Del Mar, which turns to El Centro.
Can we go to camera 3? He's wearing a blue jacket, fair to say?
Yes.
Now to camera 5. And then lastly, camera 4. Would you agree he walks up Vista Del Mar, makes that turn, and then walks towards El Centro?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Do you recall the time, the amount of video that you collected from that location, the time specifically?
I do not. I believe there's two clips, different portions for 16/16. Vista Del Mar.
1 second then.
Okay, Your Honor, we have written stipulations that will be entered. Do you want me to mark them as?
Yes.
entered?
Yes.
So let's mark them as 35.
Sure. Short the rest with the stipulation.
You already did that, didn't I?
Did.
You did. I've already did that. Okay. It's an agreement. It's just an agreement between both sides regarding the fact.
And the further would be that stipulation would mean that once it's entered, that is proven.
Beyond reasonable doubt.
Does not need a determination.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up and I'll read it into the record. I'm gonna start with stipulation number 1. The parties stipulate as follows. Stipulation number 1, surveillance video from 1616 Vista Del Mar Avenue. On November 9th, 2021, Detective Frank Flores and Carlos Camacho of the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, downloaded surveillance video from the privately owned business at 1616 Vista Del Mar Avenue in Hollywood. The video was originally recorded between 10:10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. to 11:20 p.m. on November 6, 2021,
The surveillance video contained in People's Exhibit 15 is a true and correct copy of that video. The system video date and timestamp are accurate to actual time. So, the detective, you were saying to
Sorry, chat. Yeah, so the stipulation doesn't change anything. We already know the video is what the video is. It shows what it shows, and we're still saying that Rocky was not trying to kill this guy.
that video between two different times, correct? Correct. So from 10:10 to 10:30, that would be a portion of which was just played as we went through the video, correct?
Yes.
Then the next portion that you collected started a half an hour later, correct? So did you personally watch any of the video between 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m.?
I believe we screened it through that time period when we were present.
And what did that portion collect or capture, if you recall?
From my recollection, it didn't capture anything that was all pertinent to the case.
Would it have captured the police or the patrol officer's response?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Did you collect the video between 10:30 p.m. to 11 p.m.?
I'm sorry?
Did you collect that video though from 10:30 to 11 p.m.?
No.
And why did you collect that video?
Again, we were focused on the time periods where the victim had indicated the incident occurred and he had returned.
So you were mainly focused on collecting video of the actual shooting incident, correct? Correct. Now, we heard through the stipulation, and I believe through your testimony, that you also collected video from 11 to 11:20, correct?
That's correct.
So why is it that you collected video from that portion of the video?
Again, there was indication that the victim said he had returned to recover evidence from the scene, so that's what we were trying to verify.
Had you spoken to Mr. Ephron at that point?
Yes, I believe we had spoken to Mr. Ephron before we went out to Candace initially.
And he told you that he went back to collect it, correct?
Correct.
When he told you he went back to collect it, when did he tell you he went back?
He said roughly within an hour.
Hi, Hella. Hi, Hella, and hi, Hella and your Hellions. How are you guys doing?
Okay, so let me go to that second.
Hella, you can join me if you want to.
So it's from the same.
You know how to get in here.
Correct.
Correct.
All right. Let's see. Go down to the second one. I know we're getting close to the evening, if I can just cover this one topic and then we can break. I have this second video paused at 23:09:44, which would be 11:09:44 p.m., correct?
Correct.
All right. And there's only video collected from camera 2 at this portion, correct?
Correct.
I will play it forward from here. You see an individual with kind of a light colored top and a dark colored bottom or pants walking around that area?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's get that cursor on me.
Well, Chad, actually, this is important. This is very important for the state because this is their argument that Relli really did go there and really did find the shell casings. Like, their argument's going to be, why didn't Relli just go grab some shell casings from somewhere, put them in a bag, and bring them to him? Like, this is a very elaborate, kayfabe if he's doing it otherwise. Like, their argument's going to be that Relli really did find shell casings on the ground. Now, obviously, though, Relli's, what Rocky's going to be able to say is, well, these weren't fucking sitting out in the open. Like, if they were sitting out in the open, how come the cops didn't find them? No, notice they never brought that up. And I wish if the prosecutors were smart, they would have addressed this issue, and maybe they will with the detective. Like, sometimes you guys miss stuff on a crime scene. Sometimes it's hard to find stuff. Like shell casings, they can go everywhere. Hopefully they address this a little bit. So I'm curious to see what happens. So let's see. Although the thing for Relli is, why didn't you go back during the day and look for stuff when it would have been easier?
Pause it. A few questions for you. Can you agree that's the timestamp for the whole display?
That's roughly 23/11/39.
Okay. Did you hear Mr. Ephron's testimony in this case that he took a photograph just before he collected the cartridge casing, and the photograph was timestamped at 11:45 p.m.?
Yes, I did.
Did you have that precise time or piece of information about Mr. Ephron returning to the scene when you collected this video?
No, not the exact time. Roughly, we had an hour.
And you have just a rough estimate from Mr. Ephron, correct?
That's correct.
Not a precise.
Take a break.
I have 2 questions on this. If you might finish. Sorry, Honor. Did Mr. Ephron tell you that when he returned to the scene to collect those cartridge casings that he was also with his girlfriend, or essentially with another person?
Yes, another person had gone with me.
In the portion of the video that you just watched, did you see another person with that individual in the light top?
No.
Is the person in that portion of the video wearing clothing which was consistent with the clothing that Mr. Ephron was wearing at the time of the shooting?
No.
As you sit here right now, do you believe that still believe that the person depicted in that video is Mr. Ephron?
Objection, Your Honor.
Well,
Speculation. It calls for speculation.
when you collected that video, did you initially believe that was Mr. Ephron?
Yes, I did.
Do you still believe that today?
Objection, Your Honor. His opinion as to whether it is or isn't Mr. Ephron.
No speaking objections.
Sorry, but give me the reason.
Can I get an offer of proof, Your Honor?
Ask the question again.
Yes. You said when you collected the video, you thought that was Mr. Ephron. The question is, as you sit here now, having more information, do you still believe that?
I don't.
Just one objection.
Please make an offer.
Objection sustained. Yes.
And answer your please.
I did. Yes, the answer is strict. We'll break.
Good. Yeah, because, that's an interesting thing, chat. We don't think that's Relli. So really, that's it. That's interesting here. Yeah, that's the thing. If I was going to find fake casings, wow. But you remember, chat, the prosecution's got to get out in front of this, because if they hide this, they're going to get blown out of the water. So, So where's the footage of Relli going around looking for this shit? Remember, they're going to try to argue, well, this is Relli walking around. I spoke too soon. Chat. Jesus. Why are they prosecuting this if they know all this stuff? Why are they prosecuting this case if they have all this information? Oh my God, chat.
Till 1:30, folks. Please be outside courtroom doors and check the case and no. So we'll put on the record before we come to you.
All right, chat.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, chat. So now we're going to time travel, okay? We're going to time travel. Remember, they're starting back at 1:30. Let's see what time they actually start. Let's see what time they actually start back up. 1:50. Not too bad today. Not too bad today by the judge. Under 2 hours for lunch. So he gets a thumbs up on that. So here we go. We just skipped 2 hours, chat. Here we go. All right.
Our president, all parties of the council are present. Detective Flores is on stand, and Mr. Logan. Yes, very good.
So right before the break, I played you the video of an individual returning to that intersection of Vista Del Mar and Selma after the shooting. And we talked about up until when you collected that video, you initially believed that that was Mr. Ephron, correct?
Correct.
And the last question posed to you was, as you sit here today with the information that you know from his text messages, comparing his clothing, the timestamp on the text message, on the photograph, are you still of the opinion, or do you still believe that that is Mr. Ephron?
I do.
Okay. There was a video clip played while Mr. Ephron was testifying, which was a portion of an interview that you conducted with him in, I believe it was, I want to get it wrong. One moment.
December of 2021. Yeah, no, I agree.
So, it's from your interview with him on December 17th, 2021.
Yes, correct. It's
Specifically on
not
page
Relli.
3,
It's not really.
lines
And who is
14,
it?
15,
Who
and
is
16, where Mr. Ephron says to you, at this point, you were showing him surveillance video, correct?
Correct.
And I believe, if we need to go back to the video to refresh your memory, we can, but I believe at that portion, you were trying to cue up the video to show him. Does that sound accurate?
Correct.
And while he's sitting there, he says to you, and you see my girl, right? That was my girl I was with. You recall that?
Yes, I do.
At the moment that Mr. Ephron said that, were there, what was displaying on the video that he was looking at, or was he even looking at video at that exact moment?
I believe this is the secondary clip of the time period which we thought he had returned to pick up the casings, which was, I believe, 23:10 hours
But you
on the
were,
day of the 6th.
okay, you were there when he made those statements.
Correct. Yes.
Did you receive that as him pointing out that that's my girl on the clip, or did you receive that as him asking you the question, do you see her on it?
I took it as you see her.
Not that he was specifically pointing something out.
Correct.
Okay. Let's go back to the surveillance video. And I want to move on from this location number 2. Now continuing around the Del Mar to location number 3. Can you describe that location for the jury?
Yes, I think 3 and 4 were residential units that had cameras facing outward towards Vista Del Mar, in the portion kind of between Bend and El Centro.
So I just want to clarify, you said number 4
I'm sorry.
was the loading dock, correct?
Yeah, 3 is has the 2 angles towards Vista Del Mar, and 4 is facing El Centro.
Okay. So 3 was a private residence that had cameras there, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall anything about the cameras, like where they were oriented, or?
They were oriented probably kind of at street level. It's an apartment or a unit that's on the ground, so they were kind of facing out at kind of high level, or from the window at eye level.
Onto Vista Del Mar?
Onto Vista Del Mar.
Okay, and
From the inside.
let me pull up one of those camera angles and then ask you some questions about it. So I'm going, Your Honor, on People's 15. The second file is labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard Residence. And within that, there's 3 video files that are labeled, 3 files labeled camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. I'm going to focus on camera 2. The first video file in that folder is labeled 1A220214. So, detective, I have this paused very early in the video. I can't honestly read the timestamp, but it's got to be very close to the beginning, correct?
3 seconds.
Okay. All I want where this is paused is can you orient the jury to what we are looking at on this from this camera?
Yes, this street in front of us is Vista Del Mar as it comes around the bend from Selma. So the street comes up, and this is the bend that leads to El Centro on the far left. The building across the street is part of 1616 Vista Del Mar. I have the different angles being from Selma up through Vista Del Mar and then here on the bend all the way around.
And this camera specifically, camera 2 from this location that we're looking at, It has coverage that overlaps with one of the cameras on 1616 Vista Del Mar, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Last feature I want to ask, a couple features I want to ask about this. This camera, did it only capture video or did it also capture audio?
It also had
All right. There's like a bluish tinge to the video. Do you have any idea what that is?
I believe there were some lights that the owner or occupant had on the inside, kind of reflecting on the glass.
Okay. All right. I'm going to fast forward this to. Trying to get it to. Oh, actually, let me pull it down for you to see the timestamp. We started at 14:30 on the video player, and I believe with this video player, when it gets to the end of the clip, it will automatically start playing the next clip, which is 1A221716. If that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna start playing from here. Right as it switches to the next clip. Detective, what did you hear in that short portion of the video that's played?
Two loud noises that, to me, appeared to be gunshots.
Followed by?
The sound of a horn after the first gunshot that set off like a vehicle alarm that would be like this. Yes.
So when you say horn, you mean car alarm?
The car alarm.
Okay. Up to this point in the video, have you seen any people or any movement on the video itself?
No, not at the point of this, that the shots were.
Okay. I will continue to play from here.
Katie, by the way, hi Katie. Thank you for being here. I'm very confused about what they're trying to articulate here still, so don't worry. Remember, if you're confused, the jury's going to say, then what the fuck are we doing here? So don't worry. This is yeah, I don't know what they think they're going to get this here, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Wait, sorry. Alright, I'm going to pause it. Can you do me a favor and just read the timestamp?
The time in is 15 seconds.
Okay. And what have you seen on the video up to this point?
The sound of appeared to be gunfire, followed by two individuals coming from the area just south of this, which is coming up from Selma and coming around the corner here in front of the camera. Seconds after.
And would you agree with me there's two people that are depicted on the screen right now?
Yes, one after the other.
And which one's the first one that appeared?
The one in the black hoodie.
And then the second person?
The second one appeared to have a red jacket.
And were those
Yes, Kitty. LA does have shot spotters, the shot tracking receivers. But remember, this is like in downtown Hollywood, some of the bougiest places you can be in LA. They are not going to have shot spotters sitting up in the bougie neighborhoods. You're going to find those in like East LA or Compton. You're going to find those in places where it's rough and tumble. You're not going to find them in the nice areas because it would generally be a waste anyway.
Individuals consistent with the individuals you saw from the 1616 Vista Del Mar address?
Yes.
All right. And which direction are they walking towards?
They are walking north to east towards El Centro.
Towards El Centro.
Correct.
All right. All right.
We'll get to this in a second.
All right, let's pause there. Can you tell us the time on the video there?
Sure. It's 55 seconds in.
Okay. Okay, and that that last individual, or the individual that we see on the screen where it's paused here, can you describe that individual?
Yes, it appears to be the last individual from the prior video of Mrs. Delmar. Individual wearing a blue jacket and blue hat.
Okay. And also walking towards which street?
Again, he's walking northbound Mrs. Delmar to eastbound Mrs. Delmar towards El Centro.
Okay. I'm going to read the second stipulation. Stipulation number 2, video surveillance from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard at private residence. LAPD Detective James King downloaded surveillance video with audio emailed from the homeowner of a residence at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. The residence was located on Vista Del Mar Avenue, west of El Centro Avenue. The video and audio were originally recorded between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. on November 6, 2021. The surveillance video contained in People's Exhibit 15 is a true and correct copy of that video. The video, date, and timestamp are accurate as to actual time.
Is that similar to that?
This is good.
They're all signed stipulations, so do you need to agree on the record, or is it enough that it's a signed off?
Sure, I think the jury's entitled to
Yes,
it. Both sides stipulate that.
Yes.
So remember, chat, we've got another stipulation. You know, remember, these videos are what they are. There's no issue about what they claim to be. Nobody's challenging any of that. So remember, we're just getting that in. Remember, it doesn't hurt Rocky's case at all to do this. The cat chatters coming in when you like, yes. Hello, cat chatters. Hello, cat people. Good to see everybody here. So hello. I'm assuming we'll see Cat in a second. Real quick, we're in the APRocky trial, guys, day 7. We're on to the detective kind of piecing together the movements of everybody after the shootings. Now, somebody asked real quick what ShotSpotter is. Tanok. So ShotSpotter is like an acoustic detection device. They use them, and the idea is they're mounted in different areas, and you mount them all around an area, and if there's a shooting in the inside of it, they can acoustically triangulate where it happens pretty much in real time, which allows the police to swarm a specific area, look for specific people. Hi, Hella.
Hey.
So, and here's a picture of what a ShotSpotter looks like, you guys. Let me see if I can. Let me show you this here. This is what a ShotSpotter is. They'll have these things, and they're like little speakers hooked up to computers, and they'll put them on street lights, on telephone poles, and the idea is it can correlate where the shots come from. Now, here's the big kicker for all that. With ShotSpotters, we did learn in places like Chicago, ShotSpotters are absolute fucking garbage. They aren't reliable. They're actually a waste of money. They don't work very well. So ShotSpotters are not reliable. ShotSpotters actually had to settle with the city of Chicago because there are people who are wrongly convicted of ShotSpotter evidence. So that's what ShotSpotters are, guys. Yeah, ShotSpotters are garbage to an extent. I mean, they can use them as an investigative tool, but they don't use them as much for they don't use them as much now for actually using as hard evidence that somebody did a crime there. So Ford says, imagine getting raided over swinging hammer. Yep, that vehicle backfiring. A lot of things have been mistaken for gunfire, and yes, they're great for the company that sells them, and that's about it. So if you guys want to see ShotSpotters, you could Google them. There is the New York Times has done stories on them. The Chicago Tribune has done stories on them. ShotSpotters are it's garbage technology. So, but what about ballers who are shot callers? As long as you have 20-inch blades on your Impala, that's all that matters.
I didn't understand
anyways,
that last sentence at all.
Well, you want to be a baller and a shot caller, you better have 20-inch blades on your Impala. You can holler and getting laid tonight, as the song goes.
You're such an American.
What, because I don't rap music? But yeah. Kitty knows the song. There we go. Gotta hit the highway. Yes. Sounds like glass breakage sensors in my house. Yeah, except those actually work. And, if they find somebody in your house, well, they're kind of screwed. So it's a little different. But yeah, we're in the middle of the APRocky trial, and it's we're now learning that the victim is not on camera going to collect shell casings. Like, there's a lot of missing stuff here. There's a lot of missing stuff. So let's keep going here. But anyways, you guys got copy struck? Is that what happened?
I did. Yeah.
What were you watching?
Nothing. Sean, you know how, like, we made transcripts of
You
a
sound like
podcast
Yeah. Oh, they struck
And-
you for that?
and we did a dramatic reading of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
did you appeal it?
I'm going to.
You better. Yeah. What the fuck? They don't
Yeah.
get to do that. They don't own the like that.
Yes,
What a
yes,
bunch of-
and we
what a-
even changed it too. Like we ad libbed and everything. Like, what crap is that?
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyways, no, we were just stopping real quick to talk about shot spotters. So, we'll talk more about this later, guys. But let's get back to the trial.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to People's 33. Now, so far, would you agree that those 3 individuals that we've been tracking have, in general, been following the red arrows, starting at 1 and working their way towards number 3?
Yes.
All right. And then they continued on that path on this Belmont, they would get to El Centro, correct?
That's right.
All right. And I want to go to location number 4. So that was, you said earlier, was a loading dock?
Correct.
I'm going back to the folder in People's 15, Your Honor, labeled 6200 Hollywood Boulevard, in parentheses WNPM. And I'm playing the video file that starts with .ext loading dock. Detective, where's that pause on the timestamp?
7 minutes, 24 seconds in.
You need to go back just a little. Yeah, keep that up. Would you read the timestamp for us?
Yes, here on the lower left, it's 6 minutes, 39 seconds.
Okay, on the video player. Correct.
Correct, on the video player, and left.
Okay. Can you orient the jury, as this is paused, what the features of the video are?
Yes, so this is the loading dock, which is facing El Centro here, which is the main street in front of it. To the right is the street here, where the pointer is. That's Vista Del Mar, where Vista Del Mar meets El Centro. So these individuals are coming in off of Vista Del Mar, walking northbound. The street up from this location is Hollywood Boulevard, which would be north. So we're looking at a kind of a southerly direction. They are walking northbound.
Okay. And I will keep playing. I'll play this is a short clip. I'll just play it from here.
And look at him walk, chat. Guilty. Guilty of walking in Hollywood.
Also, probably a narcissist.
Yes.
All right. If you tell me the timestamp where it's paused on the player.
Yes, lower left corner, 6 minutes, 54 seconds.
All right. I know there's a number of individuals on that video, but the 2 that walked from the direction of Vista Del Mar towards Hollywood Boulevard, can you describe them?
Yes, one of the individuals wearing black hoodie with kind of a design on the hood. The other individuals wearing kind of the same color, kind of reddish jacket with black.
Okay. Let's start with the man that you described with the black hoodie. I'll mark my next figure here.
36.
a document with two still images from the surveillance video, side by side. Detective, showing you these two still images. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
Can you describe them for the jury?
Yes, the photo on the left is a still from the parking surveillance camera. When you said, hold on. You have water?
Yes, it
You want a, you want a break? You think you're okay or you're okay?
I'm okay.
Do you continue with the answer? Or we still want to?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. If you remember one, you're right. Yeah, the photo on the left is a still from the first surveillance camera located at the parking kind of lot entrance. And the second is still off the camera from the loading dock on El Centro. So it's one on Argyle, one on El Centro. Kind of the start and the end of where we kind of started capturing video, kind of the last one we captured video.
Okay. And Your Honor, make 36, if I can go back, make it a 2-page document. So I'll make this first page that we just talked about, that I was referring to as 36, make that 36A, and the second page will be 36B. With the court's permission?
Yes.
36B, I would describe it for the record as similar to 36A. It's two still images from the surveillance video side by side, just displaying different features of the clothing on the left-hand side photograph. All right, Detective, do you recognize what you see here?
Yes.
Can you describe it for the viewers?
Again, the first photograph is from the still from the parking entrance on Argyle, where the incident began. The second one is from the loading dock off of Central. Just looking at the similarities from my point of view, obviously the specific design on the sweater, specifically the chest area between the first camera on Argyle and the second camera off the Central.
Okay. I'm going to mark two more exhibits, 37 and 38. They are similar to 36, Your Honor, but 37 has side-by-side photographs depicting the man in the red jacket, and 38 has side-by-side photographs depicting the man in the blue jacket. All right, Detective, showing you Eagles 37. Do you recognize what you see here?
Yeah, yes.
Can you describe, we'll just describe it for the jury.
Again, one's a screen capture from the surveillance camera off the Argyle, the parking lot entrance. The second one is a screen capture image from the loading dock entrance off of Central. Specifically looking at the red box that's outlined, there is a kind of right shoulder area with an individual with a jacket that is consistent with these individual off the second image off of Central.
Okay. And lastly, Eagles 38. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And what's that?
Again, one photograph is from the camera off the parking lot entrance off Argyle. The second screen capture is off of the one of the cameras off Vista Del Mar. I believe this is right off the turn, headed towards El Centro. And specifically to both photographs, I can see that it's the same individual based on the hat, the clothing, and a lot of similarities that would give me the, my opinion would be it's the same individual.
Those pants are ugly.
As the detective assigned to this case, or as the handling detective, were you aware of when the defendant, the man seated at the counsel's table with the jacket on, was arrested in this case?
Yes.
What date was that?
It was April 20th.
April 2022.
And where specifically was he when that arrest?
It was the LAX, Los
The-
Angeles Airport.
Okay.
So he hopped off the plane at LAX, but he didn't have a dream and a cardigan. Something to think about, chat. Should always have a dream and a cardigan if you do it. Very powerful stuff. So.
What?
Oh, sorry. I had
So
to do it.
what's being proven at the moment that they were like where they said they were? Someone.
Yeah,
they
it
say-
will. So, Hella, part of the issue is we've seen a bunch of footage. So they're introducing as they had their fist fight and they went around the block. Then there was the shooting, and then the guys ran away, showing that they took off what direction they went. Because they have to show it. You got to show the story, but nobody's really contesting the fact that Rocky was there. Like Rocky's like, yeah, it was me. I just had I had a blank firing gun, not a real gun. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. So it's just been put in the record.
yeah, more or less. Why do we call trousers pants? Because we're awesome.
Trousers sound so much better.
Why don't you call them pants? So.
Okay, to be fair, those aren't trousers. They're like leggings.
They're pants.
They're not.
That same day,
they
did you
barely
search any
pass.
locations?
Yes, we conducted a search pursuant to a search warrant of his residence.
Okay, and we have agreed to refer to that residence as his West Hollywood home, so we would not state the address. In order to conduct that search, did you obtain a search warrant?
Yes, we did.
And were you personally present when his West Hollywood home was searched on April 20th, 2022?
Yes, I was there. I was present.
Would it be fair to describe that house as a relatively large house?
Yes.
How, in general, was the search of that house conducted?
It was conducted with a team of officers and detectives that assisted. Search, securing location primarily first, and then going through each room and area systematically looking for specific items that we were searching for related to this case.
And did you say there was a team of people? Did you kind of split up the room so that one part of the team would search one room and another part would search another room?
Correct.
When anything of significance was located, what would be your involvement in that?
I was called over and the item was pointed out, and I was given information as far as what condition it was in and where it was originally seen.
During the search of his residence, were you alerted to multiple firearm-related items that were found in his house?
Yes, including things we were looking for and other things that we weren't, like anything substantial that they wanted me to look at. I went there and looked at. It wasn't necessarily everything that we seized.
But would it have been everything firearm-related?
Yes.
And if you can narrow it down to one room in the house, what room was the firearm-related evidence observed in?
It was what I can describe as the kind of the master bedroom of the house belonging to Mr. Myers.
Okay. Did you observe any firearm-related evidence in any other rooms in the house?
No.
Let's start with the actual firearms. Did you observe any actual guns in this house?
Yes.
How many?
3.
And if you can describe for the jury, how can you distinguish between the 3 of them or describe them each in a unique way?
Yes. One I would describe as a rifle, another as a shotgun, another as a handgun.
Okay.
Do you think when they searched Rocky's house, because I think he was with Rihanna at this point, do you think he tried to find he's like, God, I wish I could have sniffed Rihanna's panties. Look at his face. He's like, I didn't get the chance.
Damn it!
Denied.
Just missed it by that much.
He's like, I was so close.
As Get Smart would say.
And yes, while we're here, chat, we do have to acknowledge Shredder S07 with an 07's in the chat for 10 subs. Green is back on the menu tonight, Grace. That's right. We are gonna greenify this chat. Come hell or high water. Spreading. I'm gonna start issuing out green headbands everybody's gonna wear. They're gonna have little white writing on them. It's gonna look like Hamas headbands, but totally not Hamas headbands. But that's right, chat. You are making this chat green again. And please do your part. Get rid of this gray menace that's out there. And even if you are gray yourself, you become green. You can be redeemed. So thank you, Shredder. We appreciate the support. Uncle Gary! Better than Aunt Gary. Uncle Gary joining us. Thank you, Gary, joining in the crusade.
Well, as we would say, Anki Gaza.
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate the support. Shredder, I appreciate your support and your generosity. Let's keep going here, chat. Uncle Gaza.
Anki Gaza.
Would it be Giza or Gaza?
Gaza.
Ah.
Gaza.
There are 6 pages. If they may be marked as People's 39, A through F. Let's start with People's 39A. Do you recognize the area that's depicted in this photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what would this be?
That is the angle of the master bedroom facing the bed.
Okay. Would you agree with this be the same room that you've been talking about where the firearms were specifically located?
Correct.
All right, you go to 39B.
Remember, chat, this is Rocky's
Yes,
house.
it's a side table facing the bed.
Okay.
Really?
There's an item
Yep, this is his house
with
in
a
Hollywood.
red rectangle around it, just above that side table. Can you make up that item?
Yes.
What is that?
The handgun.
And would that be the handgun that you were describing earlier?
Yeah, I described it as kind of a large caliber handgun.
All right, before we move on,
Toilet
there's
paper?
another set of
Yeah.
boxes or items in the lower left-hand corner with another red
Just in case.
rectangle around them. What's that?
Correct.
You never
that
know.
was the case where the rifle and shotgun were
Okay.
carry case.
And let's start with the handgun. That item, would you agree it was directly behind, essentially like the headboard of the bed?
Yes, kind of behind the bed.
All right, I'll show you 39C. You recognize what you see there?
Yes.
Whoa!
That's the handgun. We're gonna have to try this.
Is anybody, all gun people, are you surprised the Black Rapper owns a Desert Eagle? .50. Of course, he owns a Desert Eagle. Of course. Oh, it's got to be in 44. Is 50 AE illegal in Cali? Oh, well, okay, so it's a 44. That's still a big one. He got the faux, chat. He's got a faux.
I
So
couldn't
there
have
you go.
named this gun, but it looks hot.
It's called a Desert Eagle.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
chromed
know
out,
that.
chat. It's chromed out. Yes. 50 AE is illegal in California. Wow, that sucks. So he's got a 44 caliber Eagle. So, but yeah, the Desert Eagle. It's chromed out too. Of course.
It's
Well, he
sexy.
doesn't have a gold one, so. Well, that's all right. I thought he'd have a chromed out one. He's even got the factory grips on it.
Large caliber handgun.
Just a close-up of the same gun you just pointed out.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know what caliber handgun that was?
I believe it's a 44 caliber handgun.
Are you positive that it was not a 9mm handgun?
Yes.
Did you inspect the gun?
I saw it what it was, and as the detectives that found it located it came to me. I don't recall picking it up and handling it myself.
Did you inspect it enough to determine whether or not it was a real gun?
Yes.
Was it a real gun?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not it was loaded?
I do not.
Is that a revolver or a semi-automatic?
That's a semi-automatic.
And is there a magazine for that handgun?
Yes.
Is it loaded? Is it shoved up inside of the grip?
From this angle, it looks like there is a magazine seated in the weapon.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna move back over to People's 39B and focus on the items at the bottom left-hand corner. And for that, I'm gonna display People's 39B. You recognize what you see there?
Yes.
Just a better angle of those same outside boxes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, go to 39E. What do you see there?
Yes, that's where you see the one case that's been opened. You can see inside, I believe that is the rifle.
And when you see that, and it's closer to the bottom of the page. There's two boxes here, correct?
Correct, 2 boxes. So I'm looking at the lower box here, specifically, it's kind of cracked open and you can see the inside. I can see the bottom end of what I believe is the rifle.
And did you inspect that gun close enough to know if it was a real gun or a fake gun?
Correct, yes.
And what was it?
It's a real gun.
And does that gun fire 9mm ammunition?
It is.
Okay. And then lastly, 39F. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes, here on the right. So both cases are now open. The case on the right specifically, I can see the outline of the shotgun, also in addition to the shotgun shells and the carrier of the stock.
Let's see if I can get the glare off there. It's kind of hard to see. Better. The shotgun you described as being on the right-hand side, correct?
Correct. Shotgun's here on the right, the rifle's on the left, and that's 2 separate cases.
Got it. Okay. And with the shotgun specifically, did you inspect it close enough to tell if it was a real gun or a fake gun?
Yes.
And what was
It's
it?
a real gun.
Okay. Will that gun shoot 9mm ammunition, the shotgun?
No.
Did you collect any of those guns?
No.
Why not?
Now, chat, part of the reason we'll get to the subs in a second. The reason why they're talking about these guns is, remember, Rocky's argument is, I owned a fake, this is a fake gun, guys. But they're gonna say the rest of your guns are pretty fucking real. So what's the deal here, Rocky? So that's kind of the argument why they're showing these to be real guns. Now notice they didn't take any of those guns as evidence because they're clearly not the gun they're looking for. They're looking for a 9mm semi-automatic handgun like a Glock. None of those guns are Glocks. So
Don't
yes,
they have
it
the
is-
gun?
No, the gun the alleged firearm is
Yeah.
nowhere. It's
Oh.
gone. Whatever Rocky had, he doesn't have anymore. So,
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
well, not really. Otto says, I guess those 20-round PMags in the box got to be from Freedom Week mags. Probably. But he also might have pinned 10-round magazines too. You never know. So, and then real quick, chat, got to address this. Nick Kreuzer for 20 subs, just coming in here and telling you, Grays, you're not welcome. He's like, you see what this means? It says not welcome. So he's going to make you green. He has to forcibly convert you to green. You will submit and embrace the green. More H1 green visas, chat, coming your way. Coming your way. And then Benjamin Lewis says, Hella, do you know Mike Jones?
Jonesy? Yeah, I know Jonesy.
And then Shredder S07 with 10 more, 20 subs, chat. 20 subs. Doing her part to lead the crusade against the scourge we know as the Grays. And sorry, if you're out there, chat, and you're a Gray, it is what it is, man. You are a threat to the stability of this chat, and we will forcibly turn you into a green for the safety of everybody here. So, just so you understand ahead of time what's going on. Oh, thank you guys for your support and your generosity here. Are you saved from ice? Well, yeah, ice won't get, you're safe from ice, but you're not safe from the greens, Josh. Something to think about. Oh. So
Let me get this straight. They never found the actual firearm.
Mhm.
And he said that it was fake.
Oh, Shredder says, I thought you were a chick. I thought you were a female. Okay. I'm not a chick. I have a peen and XY chromosomes. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, bro. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Don't misgender chat.
I thought that was a woman. The way. So, oh well. Oops. Anyways, Hella, you were saying, what's your question?
Okay. So They haven't found the firearm,
Mhm.
and he said that he had a fake one.
Mhm.
That part sounds a bit sus to me.
I mean, it
Like,
does
I'm
a
on
little
Rocky's
bit.
side,
It is a
but
little bit. You mean you're on Relli's side?
sorry, no,
You're on the prosecutor's side right now.
no. I'm on the defendant's side.
I mean,
That's
okay,
Rocky, right?
okay, yeah. So I agree. I agree. I'm still on Rocky's side, even though the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why you
Yeah.
carry a fake gun? Because he's licensed to carry an actual handgun in California. So the idea he would just all of a sudden carry a fake handgun just seems weird. So I'm like, there's a little.
Yeah, the rest of the facts don't add up, but this bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yes. So, all right. Well, we're going to keep going here. But yeah, it's good. I kind of like how you're looking at it. I was looking at it a little differently, but yes, I've not been convinced this whole time. But let's keep going. Let's keep going, chat.
I think one part of what we were looking for pursuant to the search warrant.
And was that specifically 9mm caliber handgun?
9mm caliber weapons and the evidence of possession, purchase, anything related to the 9mm, specifically 9mm handgun.
Okay. Those 3 guns in that location, would that be where they wanted when you first observed them?
Yes.
In close proximity to the bed in the master bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. In addition to the 3 guns that we just talked about, was there any other firearm-related evidence that you were alerted to in his home?
Yes.
What was that?
A magazine, a 9mm magazine for a Glock 23, collected from a box in the master bedroom closet.
Now, I'm going to mark 2 more photos. To 40A and B.
There is one thing here that I think the defense is going to bring up, or they're going to get into this with the detective, because if they had this, California has firearm registration. So if you buy a gun or you own a gun, it's 100% documented. So if Rocky did own a 9mm and had a 9mm at that time, they would have already been showing us pictures. There would have been a records custodian from the state government showing up to show that Rocky had a 9mm pistol. And they don't have that. So Rocky never owned one. But they might argue that, like, you know, he probably got it somehow because he's a rapper and all that. But they're going to have to show how he would have had a 9mm handgun right now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to show that, because in California, they would have documentation out the wazoo for it.
But if he's a criminal.
Yeah, well, that's not going to go well with the jury, because everything else, he already had registered guns. So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because he would have been indicted for having unregistered firearms, and he would have been facing like a good amount of prison for that. So that's why I think that's something they haven't gotten to yet, but I'm sure Tacopina is going to bring up, and I hope he does. So let's see.
Take a peanut.
All right, I'm going to show you. Start with people's 40A.
You love the fact you could say peen. I know.
take a
what
peen.
Yes.
What's with the Mad Dog court reporter?
This white object on the left lower right corner, would that be the bed?
The what? Mad Dog court reporter?
Is that a court reporter over there with the glasses on? Mad Dog?
No, that's his judicial assistant. I think the guy's got some sort of physical. He's got some sort of eye issue. That's why he's wearing darkened glasses.
Oh, okay. I thought
he's got some sort of physical limitations. No, that's just no.
Okay.
Yes, this is from the headboard view. The headboard looking towards the foot of the bed. On the right is the kind of walk-in closet. On the left is the kind of walk-in master suite bathroom. And then there's a sliding glass door here on the far left leading out to kind of a balcony.
Okay. Lastly, I'll go for B. Do you recognize what you see there?
Yes.
And What is that?
That's a box containing ammunition, magazines for a rifle, and it specifically is a rifle. Sorry. And in the center here, there's the magazine.
Ooh, that's not a block. That's a Freedom Week magazine. That's not a 10-round. I don't think that's a 10-round PMag. So this is a 30-round AR-15 magazine, standard capacity. There was a gun ruling a couple of years ago in California where basically the magazine ban in California was 10 rounds. A federal court struck it down, and it took California about a week to scramble to get things in place. So for a week, you could buy 30-round magazines and not get in trouble for it. He must have had some Freedom Week back, and it was called Freedom Week. And every gun store and gun company online quit fulfilling orders unless you lived in California, and they shipped everything they could to California. So, but I will say that's a Glock magazine right there. That's a Glock magazine or a Glock type pattern magazine. If that's what that looks like to me. So, or it's some sort of small semi-automatic handgun magazine. So, doesn't fit the Desert Eagle. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see though, chat. We'll see.
Was recovered containing live ammunition, specifically 9mm ammunition.
In that photograph, underneath the magazines, it looks like there are a number of boxes. What are those boxes?
The boxes underneath are ammunition, I believe, that was consistent with the rifle that was in one of the cases.
Were any of those boxes consistent with 9mm ammunition?
No.
You said that magazine was for a 9mm handgun, correct?
Correct.
Smaller one?
Yes, I believe it's a Glock 43.
Okay.
Yes, every firearm in California must be registered.
And was that 9mm magazine collected along with the ammunition that was loaded inside?
Yes, it was.
I have 2 envelopes here, Your Honor. In agreement with the defense, they are inner envelopes that were taken out of a larger outer envelope. Another item that was in the outer envelope is not being used, so it will be returned to the detective. We were just using inner envelopes.
So that's part of 32.
Or you want to mark it separately? I think I want to mark it separately, Your Honor, and I'll mark each of the envelopes separately so we don't get them confused.
This was in 41.
I'll mark the magazines 41. And I'll mark the ammunition as 42.
No, he had a shotgun and no, he didn't have a pistol caliber carbine. He had a shotgun and an AR-15. So, no, that's like a G26 magazine or a G43 mag. You wouldn't put that in the pistol caliber carbine anyway. I don't even know if it'd fit.
These envelopes were open as the jurors will walk through, Your Honor, so they are previously open. Detective, I'll approach first with, we write it on the envelope, so I don't forget the numbers. 41. Do you recognize that object?
Yes.
And what is that?
And that's the magazine that was recovered and shown that photograph on the screen.
In the master bedroom closet?
Correct.
Once again, Emily Baker, why is he not wearing gloves? And why is he not wearing gloves? I get it's not a DNA thing, but like best practices, like what the fuck? Best practices, chat. You always do it the same way. That way you don't fuck it up.
Okay. Can you describe what that object is, or tell us the features of it? What's the brand of that object?
It's a Glock brand magazine.
Oh shit,
Which
that's
has
bad
a
for
capacity of
Rocky.
6 rounds that can be loaded.
Oh,
And the semi-automatic firearm rounds are loaded into the magazine. As you press it down, they're loaded to capacity. And then once the magazine is filled to whatever ammunition is available or to capacity, it's then seated inside of the weapon. The weapon is then charged to chamber around into the chamber. Makes the gun ready at that point.
Okay. And you specifically said this was for a Glock, correct?
Glock 43,
Okay. 9
90.
And then People's 42 has, you want to count how many there are in there?
There's 6 live rounds of ammunition for all 9mm.
Are they all the same make and model? Yeah.
Adrena, we'll get to this in a second.
And what caliber are they?
9mm.
And what's the brand?
Same Luger.
SIG, S-I-G, Luger, L-U-G-E-R. Okay. I'll put one of these on the screen. First time about People's 41, that's the magazine, correct?
Correct.
And then next to it, I'll put one of the items from People's 42. That's the unfired bullet, correct?
Correct, that's a live round of 9mm.
Okay. And then on the bottom is where it says SIG 9mm Luger, correct?
Correct.
I'll put that back in envelope number 42, and I'll put the magazine back in envelope 41. Did you observe any guns in the defendant's home which would accept or utilize the magazine from Marcus People's 41?
No. None that I found, none that were pointed out to me or identified by anybody else in the search.
In your experience owning firearms, specifically with semi-automatic firearms, is it common that if you own a gun, you may possess multiple magazines for that firearm?
Yes. My experience, anytime I purchased a gun, semi-automatic specifically, it's come with more than just one magazine.
Based on your experience in law enforcement and with gun ownership specifically, are you aware of any purpose why someone would possess a single handgun magazine without also possessing a gun capable of accepting objection or bullshit?
Sustained.
Okay, that's also bullshit. I own magazines to guns I don't own. I own magazines for Steyr-Ogs, like the gun the bad guy used in Die Hard. I have like a couple of Steyr-Og magazines. I own a fucking Steyr-Og right now. I have like probably like 800-900 rounds of like 7.62 by 39 on fucking stripper clips, and I don't have an SKS or an AK-47. You know, I've got a lot of shit. I got about probably like 150 rounds of 30-06, and I don't own a 30-06. So, you know, like I own weapons and calibers and magazines, and I don't own the corresponding ammunition. That's not impossible. Heck, I have a Tolkarov in my safe right now, and I don't own any 7.62 by 25 right now, chat. Like that's if you're like, that's not that uncommon for a gun owner. And even though Rocky would be kind of like a very basic bitch gun owner, that wouldn't strike me as odd. But for people in LA, that might be odd because not all of them are gun people.
So it was a good objection.
Yeah, anyway, but it's just, you know, he wouldn't, that's complete speculation on his part.
Mm.
During the entirety of the search at the defendant's home, did you personally observe any fake guns, prop guns, or starter guns?
I did not, and nothing to that description was pointed out to me or identified during the search.
During the search, did you observe any ammunition or a prop gun, a fake gun, or a starter gun?
No, I did not, and along the same lines, nothing was identified to me by any other member of the search team.
Henoch, if I could show you pictures, I would, but I can't. So, I'm sorry.
When it related to this case, were you first made aware that there was an allegation that the gun used at the scene was a prop gun, a fake gun, or a starter gun?
Okay. All right, let's hold on.
He was made aware.
Overall.
You can answer, Detective. So when
Also
related
a
to this
compound
investigation was the
question.
first time that you were made aware, the allegation that the gun used at the scene was a crop gun, a fake gun, or a starter pistol?
I believe it was last Monday, which was the 20, I have to look at my calendar. But it was the Monday when and you called, let me know, and I was made aware that it was.
Okay, when you say the Monday, would it have been around the jury selection started in this case, or was there already evidence being presented?
That was when this right there in jury selection.
Okay, around the 20th, would that sound about right to you?
Yes,
Of January?
right,
And we're talking about 2025.
2025.
I don't have anything else on here.
This would probably be a good time to take a break. All right, folks, the clock has been adjusted, so the clock is now accurate. So let's break until 5 minutes to 3, at which time we will resume. Please don't stress the case among yourselves and please.
Hey, 255. Let's see if that's actually correct, chat. Let's see if he shows back up at 255. I'm betting not. Yeah, see? It's, I love this judge. He tries so hard about being on time. So, real quick, I know you guys had some questions here. There's some stuff. Auto Doctor says, was there a PCC to take the Glock 43 mag? I mean, I think a lot of, some PCCs will take them, but he only had an AR-15, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Adrena's saying, why are we rooting for Rocky when he shot at somebody? Well, they haven't proven that, and he's innocent until proven guilty, and this is a garbage case, and Relli sounds like a complete scumbag, so I'm not, I don't believe this happened at this point.
Yep.
So,
That's how we roll.
Kia Path says Rocky's out there using that 9mm Blazer, being a gangster on a budget. Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't shooting some steel case. It'd be even funnier if he had some steel cased ammunition from Wolf. That would be hilarious. Seller says there was a state reply to the Richard Allen filing today. When are you going to cover it? I will now. Reading one side doesn't help us. It's more important, I think, to have the state side of it, because then we could go through it and compare and contrast. But that'll be something this weekend we can do. Aaron Hack says, you have the same take as Peter Tragos. Great minds think alike, chat. Peter Tragos, lawyer, very smart guy. I wish I had that swarthy hair he does, but we all can't have that. His recaps have been on point with your opinions. This case is ridiculous. Yeah, no, I mean, this is a bad case. So, but let's see where we get to here. Aaron says, I don't have a clue at all what's in my husband's gun safe. Yeah. So, I have
You
a
have
pretty
nice hair too. Sure.
Yeah, I do, but it's good color. I have a pretty substantial Nerf arsenal in my rec room. Oh, and Tenok, you were saying I'm saying things you don't understand. Sorry. I'm just trying to point out it's not uncommon for people, I own ammunition for guns that I don't own, and I own magazines for guns I don't own, and I know people who own guns and don't have ammunition or magazines for them. So that's a little more rare, but that's not uncommon. So Bifront says got a lot of Ruger mags. Yep. Oh, so why did this even go to trial? Because I mean, remember, at the end of the day, Rocky's story seems like bullshit on its face, and I'm sure that they thought Relli would be a better witness than he turned out to be. I think that's part of the problem here. They were banking on Relli being a lot better of a witness. So, Dry Boaks is citing John Steinbeck. Yes, the mind is the best weapon. So,
I'm just curious to see whether the jury is like other juries, or whether or not they actually see the facts for what they are. Because most juries will just go, "You're guilty."
yeah, but I think the way Relli acted like a little girl on the thing is not going to look good for the jury. I think the jury tuned out at that point and decided not guilty because of how he acted. But we'll see.
I hope so. I really hope so. It'd be a nice change.
Chishniko is saying, I bought a very obscure PM63. Those aren't that obscure. I mean, people are rebuilding those, and you could buy kits for them. So, Kella's cat going meow, meow. So, anyways, let's keep going, chat. It's time to keep moving here. We're catching up. We're catching up here. We only got an hour left, and we're going at 1.3 speed, so we'll get through this quick. And then after that, chat, starting probably about 20 minutes after that, we will do members only tonight. So we'll hang out.
Record, somebody.
Stipulation number 3 regarding surveillance video from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard, business. The stipulation is LAPD Detective Flores, Carlos Camacho, and Luis Rivia, along with LAPD Technical Investigation Division Technician Harry Luton, downloaded surveillance video from the security office at the property management company for the business located at 6200 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. The security office maintains security cameras on Argyle Avenue and on El Centro Avenue. The video was originally recorded between 10 p.m. on November 6, 2021 and 1 a.m. on November 7, 2021. The surveillance video contained People's Exhibit 15. Is it true and correct copy of that video? The system, video, date, and timestamp are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than the actual time. You can stipulate.
So stipulated by the press?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've spoken before.
Yes, we have.
You know, we understand that you'll never hear in November 2023, right?
Correct.
By the way, let's just start out where you finish off. We had some questions about when you personally were made aware of one of the issues raised by the defense of Mr. Mayers being in possession of a prop gun, and you said it was fairly recently post-trial, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, you never spoke to Mr. Mayers from the day of the incident until today.
Correct.
Right. You never spoke to 12E from the day of the incident until today.
Correct.
Right. You never spoke to Lou Levin from the day of the incident, correct?
Correct.
All right. You certainly don't know what Mr. Mayor Rocky has told his attorneys several years ago.
I'm not aware.
And of course, you know, there's no depositions in criminal cases, correct?
Correct.
All right. So basically what you're being asked are questions related to discovery disclosure in a criminal case, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One second. All right, sir. So you were assigned to investigate this case, I think it was November 9th
November 9th.
of 2021, along with detectives Montague. Correct.
Correct.
And you've been sitting here in the court every day at the trial watching everybody's.
Hey,
For the most part, yes.
For the most part, for the most part, yeah.
hey, chat. Sorry, my headset got all jacked up there. I need to rewind just 2 seconds here. Sorry. Or you got to rewind like 30 seconds. So here we go.
Yeah, I've spoken before.
Yes,
That is,
we have.
you know, we understand that we'll never hear in November 2023, right?
Correct.
By the way, let's just start out where you finish off. We had some questions about when you personally were made aware of one of the issues raised by the defense of Mr. Mayers being in possession of a prop gun, and you said it was fairly recently post-trial, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Obviously, you never spoke to Mr. Mayers from the day of the incident until today.
Correct.
Right. You never spoke to 12E from the day of the incident until today.
Correct.
All right. You never spoke to Lou Levin from the day of the incident, correct?
Correct.
All right. You certainly don't know what Mr. Mayor Rocky has told his attorneys several years ago.
I'm not aware.
And of course, you know, there's no depositions in criminal cases, correct?
Correct.
So basically what you're being asked are questions related to discovery disclosure in a criminal case, correct?
Yes.
Oh. All right. One second. All right, sir. So you were assigned to investigate this case, I think it was November 9th
November 9th.
of 2021, along with detectives Montague, correct?
Correct.
And you've been sitting here in court every day at the trial watching everybody else.
For the most part, yes.
For the most part, yeah. And that's the science of this case. You're familiar with all the police reports generated in connection with this case.
Yes.
And because police reports are relied on at hearings and trials like this one, as a case detective, you want to ensure that those reports are as complete and accurate as possible, right?
Yes, I mean, they are a summary of the information gathered, but there are other parts of the information that's gathered to go along with that, recordings, interviews, stuff like that. It's a summary.
Sure. But you want that summary to be as accurate as possible. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And as a case detective, you spoke with other officers with knowledge about this case as part of your investigation.
Yes, we did.
And obviously,
Oh no, chat it froze. Hold on.
for example, you reviewed and retrieved the video recordings pertaining to this incident.
Correct.
So what we talked about just seeing, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. 1616 East Del Mar is one, right?
Yes.
6200 Hollywood is Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
Hollywood Boulevard is another. Yes, sir.
Correct.
And you retrieved the East Del Mar video on November 9th, 2021.
That's correct.
Okay, and the Hollywood Boulevard video, I think it was a few weeks later, November 18th.
I believe that is correct.
Now, on November 8th, 2021, law enforcement received 2 9mm Luger shell casings from Mr. Ephron.
Correct. For the initial crime report, yes.
Yes. And those shell casings were submitted to the fingerprint analysis lab about 2 weeks later on November 21st, 2020.
I believe that's when they were tested, yes.
You're familiar that the fingerprints can typically be left behind on bullets when they're touched and loaded in a firearm, right?
There's always a possibility anything that's touched can leave a fingerprint trace behind.
Chat, it's common enough. When you load a magazine, wipe down your rounds because people have been convicted for the fingerprints on shell casings. Do not load a magazine without gloves on. You plan on doing some naughty stuff. Because you can leave trace fingerprints on there and trace DNA. So be smart about it. Be smart about it.
So the answer is yes, they can, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the latent print lab, the LAPD latent print lab unit, completed its fingerprint analysis of those 2 shell casings on November 23rd, 2021.
That sounds correct.
And after examining the casings provided by Mr. Ephron, law enforcement lifted exactly 0 fingerprints off them, correct?
That's right. 0 prints for the.
So there were no fingerprints of anyone on those shell casings.
That's correct.
On April 20th of 2022, so we're fast forwarding a little bit, you secured a search warrant to obtain DNA swabs from Mr. Mayers.
Correct. That was included in the search warrant for that date that it was executed.
Right. And in order to obtain that search warrant, you swore to a judge that DNA from Mr. Mayers was clearly necessary for analysis for probable cause purposes as well as evidential purposes.
Yes, to include potential evidence that could be in custody or that could be collected at some point during the investigation. A comparison can be made. If any evidence that we have or collect along the way can be compared to.
Correct. And after getting the search warrant for Mr. Mayers' DNA, you took samples of his saliva on April 20th, 2022.
Yes, as part of that arrest for the sample station.
Right. And although you affirmed that DNA was clearly necessary as part of the case, law enforcement never submitted anything for DNA analysis in this case.
Correct. We didn't collect or have anything further to compare it to. At least it was correct.
The alleged altercation between Mr. Ephron and Mr. Mayers took place on November 6, 2021, around 10:17 p.m.
Oh no, chat, we're frozen again. We're frozen. Oh no, this is actually a big freeze.
According to you, based on your knowledge from the investigation and your review of the videos in this case, after leaving the scene of the altercation at around 10:17, Mr. Ephron initially claimed he returned to the scene at around 11:09 p.m.
We object as to vague as to what he's talking about when Mr. Ephron agrees.
They don't access 11:09. We have a minute.
Yes, sir. I'm not sure about the exact time, but I think he roughly said within an hour of the incident.
Would you agree it's somewhere around the events of that time, 11:09? Okay, go to the plenary hearing, I'll just read the question and answer. I'm
I
trying not to be
don't
vague.
see this being a piece. Why don't you tell him, just clarify what it was that,
Mr. Ephron told you 52 minutes more later, he came back to the scene, correct?
I don't recall the, because they didn't say the exact time, but I do recall him saying roughly within an hour after the initial incident.
And you got that from watching the videos, correct?
On the first review, yes, that's what I believe was consistent.
And I understand your testimony has now changed to say you don't think it's in, but initially, you certainly thought that person you saw was him
Yes,
at 11:09, right?
yes, that was my belief.
Okay. And to you, at least, that was Mr. Ephron on the videos,
That was my belief because it was consistent with the time frame that he provided.
right? It was consistent with what Mr. Ephron told officers.
Correct, within the hour estimate.
And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Ephron initially said it was him, you believe it was him initially, leaves the scene at 11:11 p.m., 2 minutes later.
Roughly.
The first part of this question seems back on evidence.
No, it's back in evidence.
sorry, stop, read the question back.
And that person, whoever that person was, Mr. Ephron initially said it was him. Let me read it here.
I can approach her and try not to speak in there.
I frankly don't remember this.
You weren't so comfortable. I'm not really down, I'm not right now. I'm just saying initially he said it was him, that's what my question was. I know now it's changed, what Mr. Ephron said. But initially, he said it was him. So whoever that person was, I started my question out with. Who Mr. Ephron initially said was him, left the scene 2 minutes later.
I don't know if it's an evidence or not. I can't remember every single.
You just said it. I would change the objection to being argumentative. He wants to ask, did that person leave within 2 minutes? I have no problem with that. But we don't need the argumentative part getting into that question.
You know, I'm not, hold on a second, I can do this easy. Did Mr. Ephron initially say that was him?
I don't recall if he used those words exactly. I believe he made a comment that may have indicated that. But
Well, for instance, you were here when he testified at the trial.
correct,
Do you remember when he said at this trial from the jury that he was sure that was him?
yes.
So, just a week ago, or a few days ago, Mr. Ephron said that was him, correct?
Correct.
So whoever that person was, that person that Mr. Ephron swore was him to this jury initially, left 2 minutes later.
Roughly within 2 minutes, that person left.
There you go, chat. You know, somehow Relli found the shell. Like, if it is Relli, he found the shell casing within 2 minutes. Like, but even the cops are like, yeah, that's definitely not him. So, Skinny is saying, is this really all the state of Cali has to do? I mean, they believe that Rocky was shooting at a guy in Hollywood. Yes, I would say the LA County DA has a vested interest in going after guys who are accused of shooting up in the middle of downtown Hollywood. I mean, that's like all the tourists. That's a bad look. You can't have that. So that's why they're going after Rocky. It's not like they're secretly like Relli stands. It's just they don't need you know, hoods running around shooting up Hollywood. It looks bad for business. And then John Coleman says, is shitting in public after eating White Castle should be illegal. Thoughts? Well, I'm sure shitting in public, period, should be illegal. Doesn't matter if you're eating White Castle or not.
John.
And then Porcelain Thunder says, strangely, they did find OJ's DNA at this crime scene, too. Although the funny thing is, this detective has been on for 29 years. He started in the middle of it, like the OJ trial. So it's very interesting. You know, that's how old he is now. 29 years ago was 1994. 1996. It's like, woof. Time flies. Time flies, perception-wise.
Objection to the front? That's raised?
Yes. And to be clear, you observed all the video footage that was recovered in this case.
Yes.
So if that is not, in your position, it's not Mr. Ephron, at least you don't think it's Mr. Ephron. Based on your testimony today, you have absolutely no video showing Mr. Ephron ever returning to the scene, correct?
Correct.
Now, amongst the video you reviewed in this case was body cam footage, one by officers at the scene who responded to that night, correct?
Correct.
You watched that? Yes, sir.
Yes.
And you are aware, before Mr. Ephron or whoever that person was returned to the scene 52 minutes later, law enforcement had arrived.
Yes.
And certainly before, if Mr. Ephron returned to the scene, certainly before Mr. Ephron returned to the scene, law enforcement had arrived.
Correct.
And the police arrived at the scene about 18 minutes after the incident.
Yes, roughly.
Okay. And there were at least 7 officers there.
Yes.
And while they were at the scene of the incident, 18 minutes after it ended, at least 7 officers were canvassing the area.
Yes, they were walking in and about the area of Selma and this and more.
And you saw them on video searching the area of the location.
But just the parking lot, yes.
Using the flashlights.
Correct.
Looking on the ground. You saw them.
Yes.
And you know this answer, but asking that way. You know law enforcement did not cover any casings in this case, correct?
Correct. The officer responded did not find or cover any case.
No officers ever covered any shell casings.
No.
Right?
No. You're asking the radio call, the officer responded initially? No.
Yes. Or do you know that this officer covered any cases from the scene?
Only the officer at the front desk that who took the casings.
Yeah, no, my question was from the scene.
No, not from the scene.
In fact, they didn't locate any sign of shooting, correct?
Correct. Other than the radio call.
Right. But that's a call. And you heard Officer Lisa testify, Sergeant Lisa now. You heard testify. A lot of people make calls or they can be just perfectly things, correct? You heard that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of reasons. Sometimes people are just not, don't stick around after.
But in any event, you do agree that the officers who arrived 18 minutes later didn't locate any sign of shooting.
That's right.
And despite that, as shown on the video, after the police left and Mr. Ephron returned to the scene, he supposedly located the shell casings by himself without a flashlight within minutes.
I believe he said he used the light on his phone and he located it.
Within minutes.
Yes.
You were in this courtroom when Mr. Ephron testified that this individual named Twelby had a knife during this incident, right?
Yes.
And you're familiar with the summary investigative report related to this case dated August 5th, 2022, sir? Yes?
Yes, I am.
And that's a collective sort of prior statements and a summary of the investigation overall.
That is a specifically that was a filing summary.
And that's what you used to file the case with the district attorney's office.
Correct.
Right. So obviously, in that report, you certainly wouldn't want there to be any accuracies, right?
Correct. It relates to the crime, yes. Correct.
That's what relates to the crime.
Yes, sir.
Your name is on that report, right, sir?
My name is on the report.
And what you wrote in the last line, the first page of this report, the collective statements, is that the victim observed Ulunga in ASAP Hills was armed with a knife. You read that?
I didn't author this report.
Is it in that report?
It is in that report already.
So some police officer wrote that.
Yes.
Who? Do you
I
know?
believe that was my partner, Detective Coach.
Where do you know? He used to be there, right?
He was in the back of the property.
He's gone now. But he was there.
Yeah, he's there.
You're right. And it was brought to your attention during the preliminary hearing on November 20th, 2023, that this report said Mr. Ephron identified ASAP Hills as the one armed with a knife. We discussed that in the preliminary hearing, so.
Yes, sir.
And if you thought that that report was inaccurate, you certainly could have asked for that to be changed at any point, correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, but honestly, yes, that was a mistake. And but the prior interviews that were recorded of Mr. Ephron from the telephonic interview on the 9th and the in-person interview on December 17th, 2021, he was consistent on both interviews that the person on the 9th was in fact Welby. The report prepared for that August filing, there was an error and it did indicate the wrong person. That is correct.
Well, as I just asked you, if you thought that report was inaccurate, you could have asked that to change, correct?
Yes.
And you know, it,
No, I mean, I answered your question. I mean, it's the record, I think, believe, captured through the interviews is clear what Mr. Ephron said versus what our mistake was.
it's not a question. Did you change your report?
No, we did not generate another report. Correct. Correct.
So, and you were here obviously last Tuesday, January 28th, when Mr. Ephron testified on the record that he saw a knife being held after Rocky put the alleged gun, correct?
Correct.
All right. And with regard to the knife, Mr. Ephron told police in November of 2021 that he saw the knife being held while Rocky was pointing the alleged gun at him, and he was yelling Rocky, right?
Correct. I believe that's the way it was described in that comment.
So while Rocky's holding the alleged gun at him and pointing it at him, he's seeing a knife simultaneously.
You've seen that during that event, correct?
Not doing that event. While the gun was being pointed at him, correct?
That's the way it's described in the report, yes, sir.
You also heard Mr. Ephron's testimony last Tuesday, January 28th, that he saw the knife being put away, and he then said, "What the F you got a knife for?" You remember that testimony last week?
Yes, sir.
And in November of 2021, Mr. Ephron told the police that only after he said, "Why you got a knife?" did that knife get put away. Recall that?
I don't recall that specifically, sir.
I'll show you.
Okay.
It's 77 in our database. It's please follow this investigation report from November 9th, 2021.
Object.
Sustain, the objection sustained.
It's improper.
This is not the proper person to either refute or confirm what Relli, Ephron told some other officer. So the objection sustained. One second.
Sounds like there's a horse clip flopping around. Doesn't it?
Anyway, you saw an arrest warrant on Mr. Mayers on April 13th, 2022.
Correct, that's the date it was signed.
And to be clear, law enforcement received Mr. Ephron's complaint 5 months earlier, November 8th, 2021.
When we received it, it would have been the 9th, it was, the initial report was taken on the 8th, correct?
8th or the 9th, but 9th of November 2021, you guys, PD, like the station house guy, November 8th, right?
Correct.
On that same day, law enforcement received November 8th, 2 9mm Luger casings from Mr. Ephron.
Correct.
The next day, you along with Detective Samajo Henry spoke to Mr. Ephron again, and then,
Yes, telephone.
by the way, that same day, November 9th, Mr. Ephron told you he decided not to become involved in Rocky's music business any longer. You understand that?
I believe the same as last time.
And also on November 9th, 2021, law enforcement received surveillance video pertaining to the incident from 1616 East Belmont
Correct.
and Hollywood Boulevard on November 18th,
Yes.
6200. And on November 10th, 2021, law enforcement obtained authorization to search T-Mobile information for Elijah Lungo or ASAP Bill's phone number.
Correct, the search warrant.
Sorry.
Yes.
And specifically, the T-Mobile information law enforcement obtained authorized to search Elijah Lungo, ASAP Bill's, his call detail records and his GPS location.
Correct.
And the GPS location data, I should say.
Yes.
And those records, the GPS location data that you all were able to obtain, show that Elijah Lunga, ASAP Bill's cell phone, was near Selma Avenue, East Belmar, approximately 10:12 p.m. on November 6th.
I believe that's right.
And those records also show that Bill's, so this one a little bit, ASAP Bill's cell phone was near Mr. Mayer's residence at 11:11 p.m. later that night.
Yes, that's going after this.
In addition to law enforcement gaining access, by the way, you also gained access to Mr. Ephron's cell phone, correct?
Subsequent to his arrest, the physical phone, yes.
Yes. No, Mr. Ephron.
Oh, sorry. Correct, he did, voluntarily.
Right. That was in November 2020.
Yes.
Correct. So you had access to his phone.
Yes, we did.
By the way, did he mention that he had deleted any messages before you had that phone?
I
don't
better
remember
run,
asking specifically,
Sean.
he had-
Okay, bye, Hella.
I don't recall.
No worries. I got a meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys. Hella here, safe for days, and apparently getting struck by the murder shit. So we'll help you figure that out, Hella.
No worries. I'll let you know what happens. See you guys. Have a great day.
Bye, Hella.
Bye.
So, anyways, guys, we're gonna keep going. Those are Rihanna's heels. All right, let's keep going here, chat.
Particularly with the guy who was making this complaint about this guy, ASAP Rocky. Did he mention they had deleted messages between him?
Correct, nothing was volunteered as far as that.
And you wouldn't know to ask that, obviously, right?
He was cooperative and provided the stolen.
You wouldn't know to ask that, I said.
I wouldn't know.
Right. And the information on that phone contained Mr. Ephron's communications, as far as you knew, with Mr. Mayers, with Hills, and 12.
Correct.
And as of November 2021, law enforcement had Mr. Ephron's statement. 1, correct?
Correct.
Cell phone records. 2, yes.
I believe so, by that.
video of the incident?
Some of it is correct.
Well, which video did you not have by the end of November 2021?
The end of November, correct, I actually November 17th, but that's.
No. So, because the last video you got on November 8th, right?
Correct.
So let's again. In the month of November 2021, you had the collective police officers and law enforcement.
Correct.
Had Mr. Ephron state. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You had cell phone records in this case.
Yes.
You had video of the incident.
Correct.
And you had 2 shell cases provided by Mr. Ephron.
Correct.
But you still waited another 5 months until April of 2022 to arrest Mr. Mayers.
Yes, I mean, there were other factors involved.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
And during those 5 months, from November 2021 until Mr. Mayer's arrest in April of 2022, law enforcement recovered nothing else, no additional evidence to use against Mr. Mayers, correct?
Correct.
In fact, during those 5 months, law enforcement never contacted 12E, never tried to find 12E or contact him, correct?
No, we were able to contact him.
Able, did you try?
No, I'm sorry, at that point, no.
And you understood that 12E was present during the incident, obviously.
Correct. We understood they were present during the whole appointed.
And obviously, you would be an important potential witness in this case.
Good.
Who's that? Right?
Yes, sir.
And you testified as the case detective, it's your job to look at all relevant information, right?
Correct.
So to be clear, you arrested Mr. Mayers without even trying to speak to 12E.
Sustained.
Let's now move over to the house search that you conducted. Okay, so this was on April 21st, you conducted the extensive search of Mr. Mayers' residence, correct?
Yes, April 2022.
And during the search, aside from what we all saw, and we'll get into that when we ask you about those things, you also saw boxes in his residence, right?
I'm sorry?
Boxes, like cardboard boxes.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show you a picture of these things. You want, I guess, we'll identify them as we go through the exhibit to each one.
Oh, these have not been marked.
Correct.
All right, your next exhibit is W is moving.
Is it easier for you to see back there, or to just read at it?
It's easier to see.
Okay, so you can turn around. This is W form?
Yes,
W,
W.
okay. That's one of the photos you see. Things packed in cardboard boxes there.
Correct.
Did you learn whether or not Mr. Mayers was in the process of a move this morning?
I was not aware that he was process.
How about the next one is? That would be defense.
X, that's an X-ray.
You see those boxes there?
Yes, I did.
By the way, can I go back to the last photo of the W, I think? Those cardboard boxes that you see in this photo, did you search those?
The closed boxes.
I know you said yes. Closed boxes. Did you say? Oh, closed boxes.
Yes,
Oh, I think
sealed
it's closed. Okay, closed. Closed boxes, sealed. Okay. So you did not search those?
No.
Okay. Next, please. No. The other one's pleasant. Okay, this one too. Did you search any of those bags or boxes there?
I don't recall going through them myself. I know the rooms that we've gone through.
I'm sorry?
I did not go through that room myself. I don't recall going through that room. But I know each room was searched by court.
So if that room was searched and those boxes were searched, would there be a report on that?
If there was anything, again, found relative to the investigation, items that we were highlighted, we would, yes.
Well, you agree that those sealed boxes obviously weren't searched, right?
Correct.
All right. The next one, please, which will be defense.
Y as in young.
Wise and young. Same thing here, Wise and young, that's what's knowing that box wasn't searched right there, correct?
Correct.
All right. Next,
C is in zebra.
please and zebra. Those suitcases, were they opened and searched, do you know?
I don't recall specifically from my memory.
Next,
AA, Adam.
AA. Same question.
Correct.
The sealed boxes were not opened and searched, right?
Correct.
All right. Is that it? One more.
BB.
My God,
So I'll start pulling them.
is this the Ricada house or Rocky's house? I'm concerned, chat.
These, a lot of colors and a lot of things there, but any of these sealed boxes that you see in the photo,
No.
they were not searched.
Hi, Joe.
And during the search, law enforcement did not recover a 9mm firearm, correct?
That's correct.
You did recover a Glock 9mm magazine,
That's correct.
and it was full, correct?
Yes, those two capacity, 6 rounds.
Did you ever take the print off of that magazine?
No.
You never printed that magazine?
No.
You're capable of doing that, correct?
Yes, sir, since it came from his bedroom, I didn't have it processed.
Okay. And there were 6 Sig Luger 9mm cartridges, right?
In the magazine?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the magazine, right? The 9mm cartridges were not loose or anything,
No.
inside that magazine. And that 9mm magazine, those 6 cartridges in the box, they were found in the box containing other magazines and other cartridges that were not 9mm.
That's correct.
We showed the pictures of the 2. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna show you real quickly, something the jurors have seen, but you may see it do that. Just the pictures of the 2 shell casings recovered by Mr. Ephron, and the 6 shell cases recovered inside the magazine.
Okay.
So the ones on the left, there, I would probably say Sig. See those?
This is the sensitivity.
It is, right?
Okay, this is going to be CC, Charlie Charlie.
Okay, CC one. So the ones on the left, right there, so yes, those are the Sig Luger 9mm cartridges.
Yes, these are the live rounds that were recovered from the magazine that contained within the magazine.
Okay. And those are different cartridges, obviously. The brand of the one on the right is what's called FC or Federal.
Yeah, FC Luger.
Right.
On the right are the spent casings.
Right. And Sig is the other one.
And the live rounds are Sig. I'm sorry. Sig.
6 hour?
6 hour Luger.
Okay, thanks. Okay. Okay. You also recovered was the 2 rifle magazines as well.
Correct.
As part of your investigation, you learned that Mr. Mayers was licensed to possess firearms. As part of your investigation, did you learn whether or not Mr. Mayers was licensed to carry firearms?
Objection, possibly yes or no.
Nothing I can confirm, but I heard he did.
You did, okay. And those 2,
Anything after nothing I can confirm as being non-responsive.
Sustained, the answer's true.
and
Possibly yes.
the 2, the one gun, what was it called? You know the name of that 44 Magnum? Desert Eagle. That was Mr. Mayers, that was registered to Ms. Mayers.
Correct.
Right, registered to Ms. Mayers.
Yes.
Jack is again, both figures.
And the rifle was also registered to Ms. Mayers.
Same objection.
Overruled. That's right.
Okay. Meaning legally registered to him, correct?
Yes, both those weapons are registered.
And the other weapon, gun, whatever you call it, that was recovered was the shotgun.
It's a shot.
And that was registered to an individual named Lou Levin,
I don't remember who specifically registered to, but it was a legal.
who was a legal weapon.
Correct.
All 3 were legal weapons.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, that shotgun was given back to its rightful owner before he left the scene, correct?
I don't recall if it was that Mr. Levin took. That's just my recollection.
I don't know if you really want to get into like Rocky kind of questionably possessing shit that didn't belong to him. I don't know if that's the best bet here, brother.
What would refresh your recollection?
I don't know if it's obviously Mr. Levin took possession of the house when we left. He took charge of the house, and what he removed after that, I'm not aware.
Okay. I'm talking about what you removed. I'm talking about what you removed. You removed the 2 guns registered to Ms. Mayers, correct?
No.
You saying you left them in the house?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes.
So you left those 2, the Magnum and the rifle in the house?
Yes.
And obviously the shotgun you left there as well?
Yes, those are all legal weapons.
All
And
legal
not part of what we're searching for.
Okay, okay. By the way, you never asked Mr. Ephron if he had firearms back in November of 2021, did you?
I don't recall asking him. He recall making inquiries as far as runs or checks. And I don't recall finding any guns registered to him during that period of time.
We're on the read for the preliminary hearing, page 271, lines 2 to 4.
What purpose is this, Your Honor?
Impeachment, you just said don't call us.
It's not impeachment, it's a refresh.
Just volume 1 or volume 2? What's the page?
Page 271, Your Honor, lines 2 to 4.
Did you set the Flores testifying?
Sorry, yes.
What lines?
2 to 4.
Fair game. It's fair game.
No. You were asked by
You
the,
follow it up if you want.
did you ever ask Mr. Ephron if he had firearms back in 2021? Answer, not specifically. Now, you were here the other day when it was revealed that Mr. Ephron was at a firing range in Los Angeles in October, late October 2021, correct?
Correct.
But the search of the house had 21 officers, more or less.
More or less.
When you spoke to Mr. Ephron on November 9th, 2021, Mr. Ephron told you that he believed he was grazed on his left hand knuckle area.
Object to Mr. Jackson on that is, I'm not talking anything about
I'm sorry? He did not lie?
You have to inquire whether he said that. You're saying when the detective spoke to him, it assumes that that's what Ephron says. So ask him if Ephron said that.
Okay, this is short.
I know.
Okay. So on November 9th, 2021, did Mr. Ephron tell you that he believed he was grazed on his left knuckle area?
Yes.
And despite supposedly being grazed by a bullet on November 6, 2021, Mr. Ephron did not seek medical attention until returning to New York.
That's my understanding, yes.
And even though Mr. Ephron waited to fly across country to receive medical treatment, obviously there are hospitals in Los Angeles that could have treated him, his injury, whatever it was.
Yes.
The fact is, Mr. Ephron only went to the hospital after Detective Manfrey on November 9, 2021, during a phone call, told him that he needs to go get medical attention or medically treated because of the type of case that this is, correct?
it. Objection calls for speculation.
Okay, Your Honor, there's tape in evidence that I'll play a portion of that. You have to,
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
in evidence.
The jury's already heard. So
It's evidence.
technically, it is hearsay. Go on to something else. The jury's already heard it. You can play it in front of argument.
Okay, did you hear it? Did you hear it?
I remember the comment, I can remember that line of questioning, and I think I made a comment prior to that as well.
Okay.
And I think in the context that he was making a comment about his injury, and I think I also suggested he should get it looked at, and I think that's when Detective Menifee also made her statement.
Her statement was that he needs to go get medical treatment because of the type of case that this is, correct?
I believe that's the context.
And with regard to his statements, Mr. Ephron first reported this incident to the police. Again, just to be clear, 2 days later, November 8, 2021.
Correct,
He didn't call 911.
No.
He didn't go to the police on November 6, 2021.
that's correct.
Waited 2 days before reporting to law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
And when he did finally walk to a police station in Los Angeles to report to law enforcement, he did so in person with his attorney, Brian Hurwitz.
Yes,
And you were here last week when Mr. Ephron testified on cross-examination that he did not recall telling law enforcement that he told him attorney Brian Hurwitz who told him to retrieve the shell casings from the scene. You were here, sir.
Object is irrelevant.
You were here when he said that.
I believe I was.
But when Mr. Ephron reported the incident to the police, he did, in fact, make that claim. Correct. He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Hurwitz, and that Mr. Hurwitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings. Do you remember that?
Read it back, please.
But when Mr. Ephron reported the incident to the police, he did in fact make that claim, correct? He told the police that after the alleged shooting, he called attorney Brian Horowitz, and that Mr. Horowitz told him to return to the scene of the altercation and retrieve the shell casings.
What's the legal name?
He's saying
It is.
He told you that Brian Hurwitz, his attorney, instructed him to return to the scene to retrieve the shell casings. Correct.
I'm trying to recall the exact context. I know he made several calls, and he was giving advice to go back. I don't remember the sequence of phone calls with Mr. Horowitz.
Okay, let's see if I can refresh your recollection. I'm going to show you your report.
Okay.
75 is the August 5th, 2022.
Is this the first page?
Second page.
So here, but
Yeah. Wait, 1 second. I don't see this.
Yes.
We got a sidebar chat. I mean, we're getting there. They're getting to some stuff here, but let's this is gonna be a lengthy sidebar. Okay.
This part here.
Oh, I messed up on the
Take a time to
banner.
read that because it refresh your recollection that Mr. Ephron mentioned that he was told by his attorney to return to the scene of the location of tree evidence.
Yes, sir.
that's not what that even says, Your Honor. And you read it.
You want me to read it? You just said yes, first of all. That's
Is the answer yes?
The answer is,
Go on, so.
Yeah, if the answer is yes, then you get to disprove it on you could redirect and verify that's wrong. But your witness just said yes, that, when your witness says, no, that's true, you sit there screaming, but wait, it's not. No, you can't do that. You can't do that, buddy.
The objection overruled.
Doesn't work that way.
You and Detective Matthew eventually interviewed Mr. Ephron's attorney, Brian Hurwitz, on March 22nd.
I'll show you all this.
Sustained.
Yep, we're still going.
In any event, law enforcement secured Mr. Ephron's phone records from the night of the incident, November 6, 2021.
correct.
And the incident happened at 10:17 p.m. That's I think we established 25 seconds more or less. Sir.
Yes, roughly from one incident to the second incident to the end.
And as you say, Mr. Ephron, an individual returned to the scene at 11:09. Correct.
Correct, based on the video camera.
Based on video camera. And you agree, by the way, that Mr. Ephron's phone records do not show a single call between him and Brian Hurwitz between 10:17 and 11:09.
Not that I recall, no, sir.
And in fact, Mr. Hurwitz's phone number, which is the report's not going to say it out loud here, appears in Mr. Ephron's phone records on November 10th, 2021 at 12:19 p.m. LA time.
I'm not sure about the exact dates of this.
So,
I'm not exactly sure about the date and time of that first call with Mr. Roberts on that line.
okay. You want to stipulate that you can show the board? Not. You want to show? Want to do the 415, please? Let's just see if I can speed this along. Do you remember, in search of Mr. Ephron's phone records, they're not getting a call to Mr. Hurwitz until 2 days later?
I recall some point after.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, that's fine.
At least directly, that show up.
Right. But certainly not on November 6th, going into the morning of November 7th.
Again, nothing direct.
Correct, as opposed
Okay.
to indirect.
A three-way call, somebody, three-way call, like that.
Did you see any indication of three-way call on the phone records?
I don't know that it would necessarily reflect three-way calls, just a direct call to somebody. But again, not that I'm aware of.
Well, did you see any calls between 10:17 and 11:09, for example?
I don't recall seeing any calls between those.
As detective, you agree, when conducting an investigation of an alleged shooting, you wouldn't want anyone who's not law enforcement moving evidence or taking evidence from the scene, right?
Correct.
Because that could tamper with and hinder your investigation.
It can.
Now, you interviewed Mr. Ephron's girlfriend, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Parker?
Yes.
You never took Ms. Parker's phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So therefore, obviously, you never examined it to see what texts or calls have been made from it.
Not from her phone, physically, no.
You said you saw the videos in this case,
Yes.
all of them?
Yes.
You never saw a video with Ms. Parker returning to the scene?
None that were collected. No.
And I want to ask a question, but I'm not well on how the court's ruling, and it's a question that would be prejudicial to them if I asked it. And you,
All right, what do you want to, off the record, let me know what it is.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, chat. I think we're getting into a topic that they agreed they weren't going to talk about, but now the door's been opened, apparently. At least Tacopina thinks so. So we'll see what this is. But yeah, this is things are looking good for Rocky right now. I mean, I'm not, if I'm Rocky, I wouldn't be too worried. I think he's doing okay. I think he's entirely doing okay right now. So I mean, personally, I just don't know what it is, but we're almost done for the day too. So we'll see what happens. So let's see here. Oh, here we go. This should be a good question.
You saw that, I think we discussed, I don't know if Mr. Persona played for you, but the in-person interview with Mr. Ephron in December of 2021, where you showed the video of what was initially him returning to the scene. You saw that here?
Correct.
Okay. And when he was watching the video, he said initially that was him, correct?
Yes, that's what, he indicated by the form of question. You're talking about the interview on December 17th?
The interview on December 17th regarding the person returning at 11:09.
Correct.
Yes, that was him, right?
That was, again, what he was indicating in the form of his questioning.
You heard Mr. Ephron's testimony regarding that and the evolution of that belief. He first testified before the jury that was him. He was only asked him, he was sure that was him. Recall that, and then he subsequently changed to that topic.
Sustain to the word evolution.
Changed, which I thought was synonym for evolution, changed into it wasn't. You saw that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And you heard Mr. Ephron say his girlfriend was there, but he then said maybe she was in the parking lot. You remember him saying that?
Correct.
Meaning that may be the reason why she's not on video?
Correct.
Okay. And then Mr. Persona asked him about the clothes being different, like he did with you just now. You remember what Mr. Parker initially, not Mr. Parker, Mr. Ephron initially said?
Church and relevance and hearsay.
It was just based on the record.
I don't recall his exact response.
You remember him saying, I'm sure that was me, but I probably went and changed my clothes. You remember testifying to that?
I'm sorry.
Okay. During your in-person interview with Mr. Ephron on December 2021, you asked him why he continued to follow Mr. Mayers if he hadn't done, right?
Yes.
Because according to you, you told him that would seem to be an odd thing to do.
Yes.
Okay. And when you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun? Mr. Ephron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he said was, I don't know why.
The first part of the question is argumentative. Excuse me. The first part of the question is argumentative. The second part is not. Repeat the question back.
What was just on that one?
When you asked him that, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun? Mr. Ephron couldn't give you a clear answer. What he said,
That part?
That part about Ephron couldn't get
You
it.
get what I understand.
Ask the question again.
I'm gonna ask it again. When you asked Mr. Ephron, why did he continue to follow Mr. Mayers after seeing a gun, what he said was he didn't know why.
Correct.
With respect to the video recorded in this case, which you've seen the image of Mr. Mayers holding an object, which according to you appears to be a gun, you agree without having that object, you cannot help that it's not a gun, correct?
On the first incident,
Yes, sir.
yes,
On the video where you see Mr. Mayers holding what appears to be a gun.
correct. On the parking structure of the first video camera, yes. I mean, without anything else appearing on the video other than him holding what I believe to be a handgun, I cannot determine whether or not that's an operational gun or firearm gun. Correct.
And with regard to the incident, after reviewing the footage captured from 16 Visa Del Mar, that law enforcement prepared a document entitled Video Download Information Summary. Remember that?
Yes.
And in that document, law enforcement described what could observe in the footage. Which one? Here's it. This one. You prepared a document describing what you could observe in the video footage, correct?
Correct. Notes that kind of detail what specifically can timestamp at certain points of different angles, angle for angle, and then obviously looking at everything collectively from all the angles together.
And for example, what you saw appeared to be a struggle on the street at 2217.
Correct.
Specifically, what that video shows is Mr. Ephron apparently struggling with hills, they said hills.
Yes,
And you also detailed approximate distances observed within the video, right?
roughly.
And you listed various times of various events seen on the video.
Correct.
You described that as a subject, I'm sorry, you described that a subject was in a dark colored jacket or sweater.
Correct.
You prepared the report, obviously you wanted to document anything that you observed on the video which was considered important with respect to the case.
Yeah, just give a rough timestamp of what the events took place and give it a holistic view at the end of which we will get all the pieces together and tell the story.
But in the report, you didn't want to leave anything important out.
Well, again, these are just notes to mark timestamps. So yes, what I thought was important relative to that frame.
And clearly, as part of the investigation, you did, Flores, if a gun or a shooting were observed on the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar, that's something you would have documented in your summary, correct?
Again, sir, it's collectively. I mean, that's part of A, where the incident began, where we observed the gun. B, where the struggle took place, and you can see various individuals running in different directions. And then as we move up, collectively, we see the next video with sound, where we can hear the gunshots. I mean, it's collectively not just one piece.
Okay, so let me just make sure you understood my question. I'll ask it again.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Clearly, as part of the investigation, if a gun or a shooting were observed on the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar, that's something you would have documented in a summary. Yes?
Yes.
That's it. But that summary that you have, by the way, certainly does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
I mean, not from that angle. It's documented what can actually be observed from that angle, which is, I mean, the view is fuzzy. It gives you an overview of the motion that's going on. But again, piece together with everything else, it's
But that document, that summary does not document that a shooting was observed, right?
correct. It does not.
In fact, that summary does not even document that a gun was observed in the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar.
Correct. That first thing is correct.
To the degree there's, in the video, from the video, there's no evidence in the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar that actual gun was being discharged, correct?
Nothing that I can observe in detail that I can see as a gun. Again, it's in frame with everything else, maybe.
Well, here's my question.
Correct.
Okay. These are, my questions.
All right.
Right? Almost done. You agree from the 1616 Visa Del Mar video, that's that video, the one that shows the whole struggle and all the fuzzy stuff, right? You agree that there is no evidence from that video of an actual gun being discharged, correct?
Correct. For that view, myself, no.
The secret surveillance video that you put together overlaps video from the 1616 Visa Del Mar video with the audio from the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video.
Correct.
All right. And that's the People's Exhibit 15, right? 15. Okay. And you did that, right? You basically overlapped the video from 1616 Visa Del Mar that had no audio, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the audio from 6200 Hollywood.
Correct.
And you put it together. And you agree that the 1660 piece of Del Mar video, just said this doesn't have any sound, but the video from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard does.
That's correct.
So you overlapped the videos from each location, trying to show when the shot would have occurred during the 1616 piece of Del Mar video.
Correct.
Okay. Of course, if the overlap is off, even by a fraction of a second, the shot would not have occurred during the precise moment shown on the overlap 1616 piece of Del Mar video. Correct.
Correct.
And with regard to the 6200 Hollywood Boulevard video, you extracted 3 sets of videos from 3 different cameras maintained by the business at that location.
Correct.
And it's been stipulated, you heard that, we agreed
Yes.
on something. It's been agreed that the date and timestamp on 3 cameras from 6200 Hollywood Boulevard are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time.
That's correct.
And the reason the cameras are approximately 2 to 3 minutes faster than actual time instead of the exact amount is because each camera's off from an actual time by a different amount.
Yes, I mean, it's not unusual in the collect video.
That's unusual. So the reason that you're using a range of 2 to 3 minutes as opposed to 2 minutes and 4 seconds is because each of those cameras is off from actual time by a different time.
Yes.
For instance, on camera 1, you hear the first shot.
And each one of those could
10,
3
15,
minutes
50
behind
seconds.
each other, so that could be like 10 minutes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to this states the stipulation.
And if each one of those is 3 minutes off and they happen to be 3 minutes off from each other, you could have a 9-minute window of time.
He's saying the video from 6200 Hollywood was off by 2 to 3 minutes. He's talking about the business, the parking lot entrance, and the
Why don't you do confirm? If I don't need to get involved, I don't want to get involved.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the 6200 Hollywood.
Listen to them open seed about this, chat. They are losing their fucking mind over this. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So.
I'm not yet. I'm not.
Based on what we just got here. Yeah.
Oh, this is the guys. This is just, it's interesting to see what they're struggling with here. And yeah, they're going to end for the day.
The day after tomorrow, Thursday, and as close to that time as possible, we will resume Inspector Flores and have to return on Thursday. And as close to that time as possible, we will resume Inspector Flores and have to return on Thursday. Please don't.
Okay, so we're not having trial tomorrow, it sounds like. So we'll be back to regular programming. Wow. Wow. Like, there's some bad things today. There are some bad things for Rocky today. I'm a little concerned about. J-Rock said, what actual circumstantial evidence do they have? They found a Glock 43 magazine full of 9mm ammunition in Rocky's fucking house. And yeah, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign at all. That's bad. That's really one of the worst things. Like, that is very detrimental to Rocky's case. I mean, really, that's a big fucking deal. I don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome Relli acting like a piece of shit. And now we found out today, Relli lied. That's me on camera running around. And they're like, no, that's not him. And he was only there for 2 minutes. How the fuck would you have found out the case? Oh, I found him right away. 2 minutes and done. No, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. And then he shows up with his attorneys to the police station. The attorneys, Camille and Ben Crump, helping him in a civil suit. Oh, buddy, that is fucking fake as fuck. That is fake as fuck, boy. So, yeah. Yeah, chat, that's Hmm. So, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it, chat? Interesting, huh? Interesting. Slightly interesting. But we'll find out what happens. We'll find out what happens. I will tell you guys for tonight, we'll be, like I said, give it about 9:45. We're going to start members only. So if you guys are agreeing, you can join us. Tomorrow, I don't know what's being live on TV, confirmation-wise and stuff, but I just had hearings. I had a short hearing today that kind of cleared out my schedule for tomorrow. So we'll hang out tomorrow if there's a hearing or anything to cover in the morning. And then we'll be back at it with trying to get some interesting stuff lined up for getting us back to this game of covering things that are out there. I know not everybody's interested in the APRocky trial, so I know kind of like nobody's here, and I know you guys aren't interested in watching it. But we'll be back to watching, we'll be back to the normal flow of the shows soon where we're covering interesting stuff every night. We'll keep doing that. And guys, normally we do. We don't always do trials. We do trials, we do trials routinely. But also, I thought this one would be interesting. And now we are getting the interesting parts. It's just the interesting parts were just a detective going, yeah, that's what happened. So, don't really know. Don't really know what to tell you there. But we are making things happen here. There are making things happen. Oh, your wife bought you some CG. How you doing, buddy? Saying my wife bought me some Warhammer models of paint. So I'm painting up a Black Templar Dreadnought. Good. That's awesome stuff. Let's see here. See, I want to make sure I got all the comments. Trying to miss anything. Let's see here. What else we got? No, I think we're all caught up, chat. Got all the super chats caught up, and yeah. So yeah, guys, so that'll be it. Like I said, give it about 20 minutes, we will head over there. And yeah, remember, no Rocky tomorrow. Rocky will continue on. It sounds like on sounds like it'll start Thursday, which, this whole trial is just weird. This whole trial is just weirdness, and I don't understand it. But hey, that's what they do. That's what this judge is all about. They do weird shit out in LA. So I don't really know what to say other than that at this point. And I need to change that for the Rocky trial. So instead of that, it'll be the 6th. Save changes. There we go. All right, chat. So in the meantime, I will see you guys all over there. And yeah, we'll see you in a little bit, chat. And just remember, I'm still not convinced Rocky did this, but oh, buddy, seeing that shit, like the fact that there's a Glock magazine in his house, ooh, buddy, that's not good. Erica says, over to where? The members only stream. We are doing a members only stream tonight. I kind of forgot tonight isn't Wednesday. When I said that yesterday. But since I already said we're doing it, I mean, guess what, chat? We's doing it. And I'll redirect you guys over there. But we'll be doing a live stream starting at 9:45. So, let me see here. Just make sure it'll switch over. Let's see here. Where's that at? Content. Come on, load up. You're killing me. All right, chat. So like I said, if you're a member, we'll see you over there. If not, guys, we will see you soon. But yeah, just remember, Rocky, I don't think you did it, man. But I still think you're not guilty. I'm still voting not guilty. But that magazine being found at your house, like, God damn. It's just not good. Just not good. And, we got some more subs, inviting more people in. Amateur Iconoclast, Aaron Hack, and Nick Kreuzer. 5, 5, and 10. 10 subs. Bringing in 20 more people. 20 more people, chat. 20 more greens to the members only stream. Thank you guys for that support. Much needed support there. We boosting the ranks. They need a boosting. They need some reinforcements. And Grace, we're gonna be at our green rally. We're gonna be at the Nurem green rally tonight. You better cover your ears. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff you don't want to hear, chat. If you're gray, you're gonna hear a lot of things you don't want to hear when the word gets out about what's going on. And then EDW Rector with 10 more subs coming in, just making sure you grays understand what's going on. And then Bella gifting 5. Oh, yes, Suffa Grays. No, I was getting through them. Tim Beatty says, but my membership. Well, you just got to hang tight or you can get one. It's the, it's the default mode. Nate Matthews says, I'm seeking Gray Asylum for now. For now, that's all you're going to get. For now, you're only getting it. EDW with 5 more subs. And Shredder with 5 more. Holy shit, Grays. You better run for the hills. You're going to have to start hiding. Grays, better start hiding under the floorboards. We're coming for you. We are coming for you, Grays. The long green march. Yes, the long walk. If you're going to be a member on any channel, it's this one. Well, thank you. He reps is sorry for spazzing. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. SD says, I'm sitting firm. Well, that's something a gray would do is just sit firm. That's what you people do. So that's not impressive. That's not impressive to me at all, chat. You grays indulging in your gray ways. That's nothing to be proud of. That there's no dub. Just the L. Just the L, chat. Just the L's. Just the L's. But you know what? If you're green, you get a dub. When you're gray, you get the L's. And Skinny getting 1 membership. Skinny, thank you for your support and your generosity. And Ford gifting 10 memberships. Guys. Oh, shoot. Ford, thank you for your support, your generosity as well. Make sure the stream doesn't end. Well, it's got to end. I got to go to the bathroom, and I've got, to make sure the doggos, like this guy right here, this guy's got food. I got to make sure he's good to go. Kill me, greens. Well, that's what's going to happen at some point. Ooh, oh, did you wooed on camera? He normally doesn't do that on camera. But he did us a woo. You do it again, Clyde? Ooh. No, don't lean over and go, ooh. Does Clyde have a peen? Yes, he's always got peens. So, all right, chat. We are going to get going here soon. Handsome Clyde. Yes, he's always handsome. He is always handsome. But Ford, thank you for your support, man. I appreciate it very, very much. Look forward to seeing you guys over there. I agree with Fuhrer Clyde, yes. Look at him. He's just like, what's up, buddy? You're like in the goofiest pose ever. Do you want to lean back? It's like lean back. You're like Fat Joe. You're like lean back. No. No. What? Boop. His face, yes. Oh, buddy. You're a good boy. Such a good boy. So, all right, chat. So if you guys are new, this is Clyde the dog. He's our buddy. He's our buddy. He's the one that actually wants to be on the camera. So, all All right, guys, we'll see you in about 15 minutes now. So thank you again, chat. And like I said, I don't think Rocky's guilty, but goddamn, this is starting to get very, very bad. This is very, very bad. So for Rocky, this is getting worse. Although overall, he's still got the points. But remember, you don't just win on points. So, all right, chat, take care, and I'll see you shortly. See you guys.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney.